Chapter 420, Leaving Without Saying Goodbye, 3. How dare you treat me like this? Our Lan family won't let you go. Lan Ninger threatened, her beautiful face slightly distorted from anger. Are you threatening me? Lung Ruoxue said with a spurious smile, her watery eyes releasing a fierce and terrifying cold light. I'm the most favored fifth young lady of the Lan family. Lan Ninger stammered, frightened by the coldness in Lung Ruoxue's eyes. So what? Lung Ruoxue said nonchalantly. Watch her. Don't let her get in my way. Lung Ruoxue turned her gaze to Lan Lai and warned with slight displeasure. I guarantee you'll be fine if you dare to teach her a lesson, Lan Lai gloated. Oh, isn't she your sister? Lung Ruoxue was at a loss for words. What kind of brother was this? She wasn't born out of my mother's womb. I don't recognize her. In Lan Lai's heart, only those of the same father and mother would be recognized by him. The others could only be considered relatives. If the relatives respected him, perhaps he would still give them a good face. But for someone as arrogant as Lan Ninger, forget it. He really couldn't afford such a sister. Seventh brother. Lan Ninger was very aggrieved. She looked at Lan Lai with tears in her beautiful eyes. Then she pounced on Lung Wudi, who was beside Lan Lai, trying to seek comfort. But Lung Wudi didn't want this chance to console the beauty at all. He dodged lightly and left this rare opportunity for the cold ground. Lan Lai looked at the stunning beauty who fell to the ground and laughed hysterically. Big brother Lung, how could you? Boo-hoo. Lan Ninger didn't care about being in a sorry state and directly lay on the ground and sobbed. Miss, quickly get up. The ground is cold. The maidservant beside Lan Ninger stepped forward to help Lan Ninger up, but Lan Ninger refused to get up no matter what. Young Master Lung, please persuade our young lady. She listens to you the most. The maidservant had no choice but to seek Lung Wudi's help with tears in her eyes. Unfortunately, Lung Wudi ignored her and pretended not to hear her. Since she likes the ground so much, just stay there. I'll tell Grandpa later that his most beloved granddaughter has fallen in love with a piece of land. In addition, I'll also suggest to Grandpa to marry her to this piece of land, Lan Lai said seriously. Did she really think they were idiots to play tricks in front of them? Which one of them hadn't gone through thousands of tests and difficulties to become young masters? If they were easily fooled by a woman's little trick, then they wouldn't have to work as young masters in the future. Little Lai, that's a good idea. Old Zhao laughed hysterically after hearing what Lan Lai said. Hee, this kid from the Lan family is quite interesting and ruthless with his words. I like it. Lan Lai, how dare you? Birds that don't work don't have worms to eat, and birds that don't work have nowhere to sleep. Lan Lai gloated as he ate. Cold sweat dripped down Lung Ruoxue's forehead as she looked at Lan Lai's excitement. How much do you hate this relative? How can you be so happy? Everyone surrounded the fire and happily ate the delicious grilled meat. But Lan Ninger and her servant were not so comfortable. Chapter 421, Leaving Without Saying Goodbye, 4. Miss, what should we do? Lan Ninger's maidservant asked helplessly. Boo, I'm so hungry. Set up a tent. Is there still a need to ask? Lan Ninger roared furiously. But, the maidservant stammered. But what? Lan Ninger said impatiently. She was so angry now. We didn't prepare a tent, the maidservant whispered fearfully. The young lady never slept outdoors when she went out, so they had no habit of preparing a tent at all. Boo, I'm dead meat this time. What did you say? Lan Ninger asked in disbelief, thinking she heard it wrong. I said, we didn't bring a tent, the maidservant whispered. Then where are we going to sleep tonight? Lan Ninger was dumbfounded. She even forgot to be angry. The only thing she remembered now was that she couldn't sleep outside. She was the most favored fifth young lady of the Lan family, not to mention that Big Brother Lung was still here. Yes, there's Big Brother Lung. He definitely can't bear to leave a delicate beauty like me without a place to sleep. Thinking of this, she suddenly became happy, and she was even a little glad that she didn't bring a tent. Otherwise, Why would she have an excuse to have intimate contact with Big Brother Leng? She had already begun to fantasize. After eating, Leng Ruoxue and the others returned to their tents to sleep. Only Lan Lai, Leng Wudi, and Sun Teng were keeping night watch. Big Brother Leng. Lan Ninger walked to Leng Wudi when she saw that almost everyone had left. She called out softly, her beautiful eyes twinkling seductively. "What's the matter?" Leng Wudi raised his straight eyebrows and pretended to be stupid. In fact, they all knew what Lan Ninger was up to. They were just pretending to be stupid. "Big Brother Leng, I came out in a hurry and didn't bring a tent. Can you?" Lan Ninger deliberately said half of what she wanted to say. "You want to borrow a tent?" Leng Wudi asked lightly. "If it's convenient, we can." Lan Ninger was shy and couldn't say it. In fact, what she wanted to say was, "We can squeeze in together." "Okay, go and stay inside. I want to keep watch tonight," Leng Wudi said generously. If big men like them let a woman sleep outdoors, who knows how Lan Ninger would complain about them after she returned to the Lan family. "Thank you, Big Brother Leng." Lan Ninger's beautiful face was full of gratitude. But she was a little disappointed in her heart. Alas, why doesn't Big Brother Leng understand? Haven't I given enough hints? After thanking him, Lan Ninger obediently led her maidservant into Leng Wudi's tent. "You're such a good person," Lan Lai muttered with some dissatisfaction. "Do you want her to go back and complain?" "I'm fine, but Leng Ruoxue and the others probably won't have it easy." Leng Wudi said. "You're right." Lan Lai snorted coldly and said gloomily, then fell silent. The next morning, after waking up, Leng Ruoxue and the others had a simple breakfast and continued on their way. Half a month later, at noon, Leng Ruoxue and the others arrived at Blue Cloud City. Standing outside the city gate of Blue Cloud City and looking at the tall and mighty city wall, Leng Ruoxue and the others were also abnormally excited. This was one of the largest cities on the boundless heaven continent. They could already feel the majestic and extraordinary might of Blue Cloud City outside the city gate. As expected of Blue Cloud City, Old Zao sighed. "Of course, this is our Lan family's main city," Lan Lai said proudly. "Our Leng family's proud cold city isn't bad either," Leng Wudi said, unwilling to be outdone. Leng Ruoxue looked at Sun Teng, who didn't say anything and said lightly, "The Sun family's Sunzhou City is probably similar to Blue Cloud City. Why don't you take a look when you have the chance?" Sun Teng said coolly, his face expressionless from start to finish. "Don't worry. We will go," Leng Ruoxue said with a light smile. "Sunzhou City, we will go sooner or later and you bumpkins are finally here." At this moment, a disdainful mocking voice sounded from the city gate. The owner of the voice, Lan Ninger, also appeared. Not only that, but a large group of people followed behind her. Leng Ruoxue looked at Lan Ninger, whose tail was about to curl into the sky, and smiled without saying a word. On the second day of their journey, Lan Ninger had abandoned them when they passed through Burn City and returned to the Lan family alone with her maidservant. As for the cause, of course, it was because of the tent. When they passed through Burn City, Leng Ruoxue knew that she didn't have a tent, so she had asked her to buy one. But she refused no matter what. Later, Leng Ruoxue told her clearly that since she refused to buy one herself, no one would lend her a tent the next time she slept in the wilderness, so she ran away in a fit of anger. There were many shops belonging to the Lan family in Burn City. Lan Ninger must have found someone from one of the shops to return to Blue Cloud City ahead of time. "You inexperienced bumpkins, didn't you hear me talking to you?" Lan Ninger was instantly angry when she saw that no one was paying attention to her. This was the Lan family's territory. These ugly monsters shouldn't even think about having a good life since they were here. "Little Sister Ninger, are they the people you mentioned?" asked a woman in blue beside Lan Ninger. "Yes, it's them." Lan Ninger gritted her teeth in hatred. "How dare you bully our Lan family?" the blue-clothed woman rebuked indignantly. Without a saying word, Leng Ruoxue turned to look at Lan Lai. "Lan Feier, how dare you be rude to my friend?" Lan Lai roared furiously. Damn it. The mocking expression on Leng Ruoxue's face made him want to find a hole to burrow into. It was too embarrassing. Seventh brother, they bullied little sister Ninga. As an elder brother, not only did you not vent your sister's anger for her, but you even sided with outsiders. Grandpa won't let you off if he finds out. Lon Fair accused, as if Lon Lai had really committed a big mistake. Chapter 422, Setting Up a Stall and Poaching in the Corner. 1. Lon Fair, don't use that old man to suppress me, nor do you have to try so hard to please Lon Ning. She will never agree to share a husband with you, Lon Lai said with slight mockery, exposing Lon Fair's thoughts unceremoniously. It was already an open secret in the Lon family that Lon Fair liked a certain someone. Only she thought she had concealed it very well. Lon Fair, is what he said true? Lon Ninger questioned with raging jealousy. Little sister Ninga, don't listen to his nonsense. Can't you tell that he wants to sow discord between us? Lon Fair quickly comforted. She hated Lon Lai to the core. After hearing Lon Fair's words, Lon Ninger was still a little skeptical. But after some thought, she felt that what Lon Fair said made sense. Young Master Lon, your status as the young master isn't much either. Looks like anyone can order you around, Lung Ruoxue said lightly. That's right. Brat Lon, you are too vexed as the young master. I only realized today that the Lon family doesn't take you seriously. Old Zhao also sowed discord, his face full of pity. Lon Lai snorted softly and said coldly, Isn't that because some dogs like to rely on others and always use an old man to suppress me? Damn it. Who did you say is a dog? Lon Ninger roared furiously. I'm talking about dogs. Lon Lai smiled gently. Then he turned to look at Lung Ruoxue and the others. Ignore these dogs. Let's enter the city. Okay. Lung Ruoxue nodded, completely ignoring Lon Ninger and her group. Wait, they can't enter the city. Lon Ninger pointed at Lung Ruoxue and the others, her face totally pleased with herself. What did you say? Lon Lai narrowed his eyes. I said, they can't enter the city, Lon Ninger said proudly. Blue Cloud City was her territory. She didn't believe that these ugly monsters could enter if she didn't allow it. I haven't been home for a long time. I only found out today that you, Lon Ninger, are in charge of Blue Cloud City. Lon Lai was so angry that he laughed mockingly. This is Grandpa's idea. Lon Ninger took out her trump card and brought up the patriarch. She didn't believe that Lon Lai would still dare to stubbornly protect these people. Is that so? Lon Lai's expression was very calm. In fact, he was so angry in his heart. Damn old man, just you wait. He didn't think that Lon Ninger would lie to him because she didn't have the guts to fake his order. Moreover, this was indeed something that the damn old man would do because that old man had always liked to drag him down and cause trouble for him. You can go back and ask Grandpa if you don't believe me, Lon Ninger said confidently. She wanted Lon Lai to know who was the most favored in the Lon family today. Of course I will ask. But they have to enter the city with me, Lon Lai said without any room for negotiation. Originally, his status wasn't high in front of Lung Ruoxue and the others. Now, if he embarrassed himself again at the door of his house, he wouldn't have the face to hang around with them in the future. How dare you disobey Grandpa's orders? Lon Ninger questioned with a very smug expression. Is this the first time? Lon Lai asked with a smile. He had disobeyed the old man's orders countless times since he was young, but he had never seen the old man do anything to him. You will regret it. Grandpa will definitely not let you go this time. What are you waiting for? Hurry up and go. The patriarch has ordered us not to let these people enter the city, Lon Ninger said loudly. But after waiting for a long time, Lon Ninger didn't see any reaction from the people behind her. Do you also want to disobey orders? Lon Ninger said, very displeased, feeling that her authority had been challenged. Fifth miss, we don't dare to hurt young master, the leader of the guards said helplessly. Boo! Patriarch, why did you do this to us? We didn't do anything wrong. Why did you implicate us in your fight with young master? He won't be the young master soon. What are you afraid of? Lon Ninger roared in exasperation. But he is still the young master now. We will be punished if we accidentally hurt young master, the leader of the guards said with a troubled face. We're only here to keep up appearances for Fifth Miss, not to be her thugs. Lan Ninger didn't know that she couldn't command them at all. Lan Lai, no wonder some people dare to shout at you. So your young master position is about to be lost. Lung Ruoxue said sympathetically after watching the commotion for a long time. But what do these guards mean? Their reactions are really interesting. I don't care about the young master position. Whoever wants it can take it, Lan Lai said nonchalantly. If I hadn't lost the bet with that damn old man, I wouldn't have become this young master at all. Boo. Alas. From the looks of it, we can't enter Blue Cloud City today, Lung Ruoxue said with a light sigh, but there was no anger on her face at all. Shuer, let's camp at the city gate since we can't enter, Lung Qingtian said nonchalantly, his composure unbelievable. Yes, Shuer, I'm a little hungry, Freak said pitifully, his bright star eyes shining like obsidian. Then what are we waiting for? Let's hurry up. Lung Ruoxue ordered, and everyone hurriedly set up their tents. The corner of Lan Ming's mouth twitched a little. He watched Lung Ruoxue and the others quickly set up the tents, then start a fire and take out a pile of food. Several black lines couldn't help rolling down his forehead. Are you preparing to camp already? Lan Ming was really impressed by their casualness. But what he didn't understand was what his father was doing. Lan Lai and the others were already mentally prepared, so they were relatively calm. Alas, Lung Ruoxue even dared to sleep on the arena, so what was so strange about camping outside Blue Cloud City? The Lan sisters and the Lan family guards were a little dumbfounded because they didn't know the temperament of Lung Ruoxue and the others. What's going on? Chapter 423, Setting Up a Stall and Poaching in the Corner, 1. Who allowed you to camp here? Lan Ninger roared with displeasure after recovering from her momentary daze. What? Are you not allowing us to enter the city or camp outside the city? Lung Ruoxue said with a light smile. Of course not. Hurry up and scram back to Windless City. Blue Cloud City isn't a place where you ugly monsters can come. Lan Ninger said cockily. As far as I know, this Blue Cloud City belongs to your Lan family, but it doesn't seem to be the case outside the city. Lung Ruoxue said with a smile, neither annoyed nor angry. But that doesn't mean you're allowed to camp here. Lan Ninger shouted angrily. She didn't know if the area outside of the city belonged to the Lan family, but she wouldn't allow these ugly monsters to stay here to be an eyesore. The Lan family's fifth young lady is really overbearing. It's fine if you don't allow guests to enter the city, but we can't even stay outside the city. Alas. Grandpa, why don't we leave? The Lan family is a colossus, and small characters like us can't afford to offend them. Lung Ruoxue complained with a long face, singing her tune well. Shuer, don't be scared. We definitely can't bow down to evil forces. Freak hugged Lung Ruoxue tenderly and comforted her. But we really can't afford to offend the Lan family. Lung Ruoxue leaned in Freak's arms, her face full of worry. My dear granddaughter, we're not afraid. Justice is in the hearts of people. We'll camp outside the city today. I want to see if the Lan family will really chase us away. Moreover, I want everyone who enters the city to see that this is how the Lan family treats guests. We can't enter the city gate even though we have an invitation. Lung Qingtian said calmly, also neither annoyed nor angry. Lass, isn't it just a medicinal herb exchange meeting? We have so many good herbs. It doesn't matter if we enter the city or not, Old Zhao echoed, implying that they could just exchange outside the city. It was the same. Yes, you have a point. Lung Ruoxue nodded in agreement. Then she took out a signboard from the bracelet and placed it on the road to the city. On the signboard were the words Medicinal Herb Exchange. Then she let Charm and the other beasts out as part-timer sales promoters, part-time exchange promoters. Moreover, Lung Ruoxue especially took out a few recliners, a huge parasol, and various drinks and snacks from the bracelet for them to enjoy because she was afraid that they would be tired. Old Zhao looked at the scene in front of him and rubbed his eyes. He finally confirmed that it was real. Her speed is really godlike. Impressive. Impressive. In fact, Lung Ruoxue had already decided to do so before old Zhao said those words. Therefore, she had sent a voice transmission to Empty and got him to arrange everything earlier. Although she didn't know the true intentions of the Lan family's patriarch, she would definitely let these clowns of the Lan family know the consequences of provoking her. This time, everyone, including Lan Ming, was dumbfounded again. Lung Ruoxue's group was already used to it. Are they poaching customers right outside of the Lan family's doors? Ruoxu, Lan Lai's eyes lit up, and he was so excited that he stammered. Heavens! How enjoyable! Let's see how that damn old man will clean up this mess. He couldn't help gloating. Lan Lai, you enter the city. I'm not going in either, Lung Wudi said. He felt that he would encounter more interesting things with Lung Ruoxue and the others. I'm not going in either, Sun Ting said. Hee, then I won't be going home either. I'll stay outside the city to accompany you. Lan Lai said happily. He was so excited now. He was happy just thinking that the damn old man was going to be frustrated. No, Lung Ruoxue refused. Why? Lan Lai asked pitifully, almost crying from anxiety. Come here. Lung Ruoxue called Lan Lai and the others. Then she whispered something in their ears. The expressions on their faces were very strange, but they nodded frequently. Let's enter the city, Lan Lai said in high spirits. Lung Wudi and Sun Ting nodded, and the three of them strode into Blue Cloud City first. Lan Ming, aren't you going into the city? Lung Ruoxue glanced at Lan Ming. She thought Lan Ming would go in with Lan Lai and the others. I brought you here. If you can't enter, how can I enter the city alone? Lan Ming said lightly. In fact, even if he entered the city, he would still be looking for an inn to stay in. If that was the case, he would rather be together with Lung Ruoxue and the others. Lung Ruoxue nodded. In fact, she knew about Lan Ming's situation. You are really courting death. Lan Ning, who had just returned to her senses, roared directly after reacting. Your young master has entered the city. Aren't you going back? Lung Ruoxue ignored Lan Ning's anger and spoke directly to the group of guards. Let's go, the leader of the guards directly ordered, and all the guards left Lan Ning and her sister, turning around to leave. Little sister Ning, let's go too. Lan Fei saw that her beloved had entered the city and was in no mood to stay outside the city. Just you wait. You are dead meat. With that, Lan Ning angrily returned to Blue Cloud City with Lan Fei. Schwer, everyone has left. Let's cook. Freak suggested. He was hungry. Yes, let's get started. Lung Ruoxue said helplessly. Alas. This foodie. But they had planned to cook anyway. Everyone worked together and quickly prepared a sumptuous table of food. After lunch was ready, Lung Ruoxue sent some to her cute beasts and then returned to have lunch with everyone. After eating, Lung Ruoxue felt like taking an afternoon nap. She said goodbye to everyone and returned to her tent. Little NN, continue working hard. We'll take a nap too. Lung Qingtian looked at Jing'en. Okay, please go ahead. Jing'en said hurriedly. It was noon, and there was so much sunlight. If they didn't have to leave someone to guard the stall, he also wanted to sleep. Everyone said goodbye to Jing'en and then entered their tents. After some time, Jing'en leaned back on a recliner and fell asleep. Chapter 424. Setting up a stall and poaching in the corner. 1. Jing'en, wake up. Charm stretched out his little paw and shook Jing'en's clothes. Did I fall asleep? Charm, what's the matter? Jing'en said awkwardly. Boo. How did I fall asleep? Someone wants to exchange herbs. Charm pointed at the old man beside him. At this moment, Jing'en discovered that there was a very inconspicuous little old man dressed in ordinary clothes standing beside Charm. Although this little old man wasn't good-looking, his eyes were overflowing with light. Moreover, he was sizing Jing'en up. May I know what medicinal herbs you want to exchange for? Jing'en asked very politely. He couldn't tell this old man's strength at all, so it had to be above his. I heard from those beasts that you have all sorts of medicinal herbs, so I came to take a look. If there's anything I need, I'm willing to exchange with you for something of equal value, the little old man said skeptically. Alas, he had lived for many years, and to be honest, he had really never seen such an eloquent beast. If not for his strong willpower, he would probably have been convinced by them long ago. Old man, take a look at this first. Zheng Yan took out 2 signs from his ring and placed them in front of the old man. The 2 signs each had the herbs they needed and the herbs they possessed. Do you really have all these? The little old man said with a face full of shock and disbelief after looking at the contents of the sign. Heavens! Who is this person? He actually has all the herbs I need. Of course. How is it? Old man, is there anything you want to exchange for? Zheng Yan asked with a smile. He knew very well that the medicinal herbs they possessed were enough to make any alchemist go crazy. Yes, I want to exchange for these, the little old man said happily. Alas, it seemed like he didn't come for nothing this time. Do you have what we need? Zheng Yan asked again. Their young lady felt that they didn't have enough herbs, so she wanted to exchange for some that they didn't have or didn't have a lot. I need to exchange for 10 types of herbs, but I only have 8 that you need. Can I exchange something else? The little old man said after some hesitation. Something else? What is it? Zheng Yan asked curiously. At this moment, the little old man took out a red flower from his ring. It was palm-sized and red like fire. There seemed to be liquid flowing slowly in the petals. Moreover, the fragrance of the flower alone was refreshing. Can I use this to exchange for the remaining 2 herbs? The little old man said reluctantly. He had been keeping it ever since he unintentionally obtained this red flower. Moreover, he had searched through all the ancient books, but he didn't know what this red flower was. But he was sure that this flower was definitely something good. This, Zheng Yan couldn't make up his mind. Every one of the medicinal herbs that their young lady took out to exchange for was a priceless treasure on the boundless heaven continent. Moreover, many medicinal herbs were unable to be measured with money. But if he exchanged their precious medicinal herbs for a red flower that he couldn't name at all, to be honest, he really didn't have the guts. Zheng Yan, exchange with this old man. Lung Ruoxue opened the tent and walked out. Yes, Mississippi. Zheng Yan was relieved. The little old man looked up at Lung Ruoxue and sized her up. The more he looked, the more surprised he was. The fire attribute on this little girl was so rich. She should also be an alchemist. Moreover, he didn't expect a mystic monarch to actually call an elementary mystic Mississippi. I wonder which family she's from. Old man, I'm just an ordinary person on the boundless heaven continent. He lost a bet with me, so he recognized me as his master, Lung Ruoxue explained understandingly. Alas, this old man's thoughts were all written on his face. It was impossible for her to pretend not to see it. The little old man was embarrassed and wiped the cold sweat off his forehead. Was I being so obvious? Moreover, he didn't believe what Lung Ruoxue said about being just an ordinary person. Would ordinary people have so many precious herbs? But since she was unwilling to reveal her identity, he naturally wouldn't force her. Old man, what herbs do you need? Lung Ruoxue asked with a light smile. I need a silver bellflower, a stalk of rootless grass, a spiritwood seed. The little old man said all the herbs he needed in one go. Then he took out the herbs Lung Ruoxue wanted from his ring and handed them to her along with the red flower. Lung Ruoxue took the herbs handed to her by the little old man. Old man, choose 3 more herbs. The value of this red flower isn't something that 2 herbs can compare with. Little friend, do you know this red flower? The little old man asked with a face full of pleasant surprise, his old face full of anticipation. I guess so. Lung Ruoxue said. Then please tell me, young friend. Treat it as offsetting the value of this red flower. The little old man said anxiously. He wanted to know what this flower was. It had been many years. Now that someone finally recognized it, he wouldn't let go of this opportunity no matter what. The origin of this red flower can't offset its value, so you should choose 3 more. Lung Ruoxue said. She didn't want to take advantage of this old man. All right then. But little friend, you have to tell me the origin of this flower. The little old man said worriedly. Okay. Lung Ruoxue nodded. I've chosen. The little old man looked at Lung Ruoxue eagerly after choosing 3 herbs. This red flower is called the blood weeping flower. It is the main ingredient for concocting the blood weeping pill. The blood weeping pill is a legendary divine-grade pill. Lung Ruoxue only gave a simple explanation, but she believed that this old man would understand. Blood weeping pill. No wonder. The little old man couldn't help sighing. It was actually the legendary blood weeping flower. Alas, he had heard of the famous blood weeping flower. However, the records of the blood weeping flower, as well as the pill formula for the blood weeping pill, had already disappeared from the boundless heaven continent for thousands of years. No one could refine the blood weeping pill on the current boundless heaven continent. It was a pill that would make even mystic supremacies go crazy over. Unfortunately, it had long been lost. Chapter 425. Setting up a stall and poaching in the corner. 1. Old man, now that you know the origin of this flower, do you still want to exchange it with me? Lung Ruoxue asked with a light smile. Yes, I won't change my mind. Although the blood weeping flower is precious, I'm afraid I won't be able to concoct the pill even if I devote my entire life to it. However, can you let me take a look if you concoct the blood weeping pill one day in the future? The little old man asked expectantly. Since this woman in front of him knew the blood weeping flower, she might also concoct the blood weeping pill in the future. Okay. Lung Ruoxue nodded in agreement. She had a good impression of this little old man. She was just testing his character by asking him whether he would go back on his word. Then I wish you success in advance, the little old man said happily, his face full of relief. Old man, these are the herbs you want. Please check them. While Lung Ruoxue was speaking to the little old man, Jing En had already taken out the herbs the old man wanted from the ring and handed them to him. Little friend, these herbs. The little old man was very surprised after taking the herbs and looking at them because the quality of these herbs was really too good, better than he had imagined. Moreover, all the herbs were actually fresh. This was really unbelievable. What? Aren't you satisfied? Lung Ruoxue teased. She was especially happy to obtain the blood weeping flower. Ah, no, I'm satisfied. I'm satisfied. I'm just a little surprised. The quality of these herbs is too good. They will definitely make all the alchemists crazy, the little old man quickly said. He knew that this little friend in front of him was just joking with him, but he still explained very seriously, afraid that she would misunderstand. The main reason was that he was too satisfied with the exchange this time. He didn't expect to exchange for all the herbs he needed so easily. He originally thought that it would be good if he could exchange for half of them. After all, almost all the herbs he wanted were things that couldn't be bought with money. It's good that you're satisfied, Lung Ruoxue said with a light smile. Then, little friend, why don't you go to Blue Cloud City to exchange with others? The quality of these herbs will definitely make all the alchemists crazy, the little old man said with a face full of doubt. Since they were already in Blue Cloud City, why didn't they enter the city? Even if they weren't qualified to participate in the official exchange, they could still set up a stall at the entrance of the venue to exchange with others. After all, many alchemists did so, so he couldn't understand it at all. Alas, it's a long story. The young master of the Lan family originally sent us an invitation, but the 5th young lady of the Lan family refused to let us enter the city no matter what. She is the most favored little princess of the Lan family, and we are only ordinary people. How could we dare to disobey the little princess? You know, even the young master of the Lan family has to do things according to Lan Ninger's mood. Not to mention us. Therefore, we could only set up a stall outside the city to exchange for some herbs we need, Lung Ruoxue said with tears in her eyes. She was so pitiful. She was just short of tears. But I heard that the 5th young lady of the Lan family is educated and polite. She's a very well-mannered young lady from a prestigious family, and she's very filial. There's no one in the Lan family who doesn't like her, the little old man said doubtfully. Old man, haven't you heard that rumors stop at the wise? You have to see for yourself. What I just told you is my personal experience. Lan Ninger is quite beautiful, but her personality? It's really not flattering. In addition, she doesn't know manners or respect at all. My companions are already so old, but she still calls them ugly. Give us your honest opinion. I admit that we are a little ugly, but who are we getting in the way with our ugliness? Don't you think so? Lung Ruoxue began to ramble on as if she had met a bosom buddy. The more the little old man heard, the more his brows furrowed. As for Jing En, who had been standing by the side, his forehead was full of black lines, and his heart was full of cold sweat. No matter who you offend, don't offend my young lady. Otherwise, you won't even know how you died. Is what you said true? The little old man asked doubtfully after listening for a while. It's absolutely true, even more so than pearls. Lung Ruoxue promised. Then she deliberately paused and continued, Old man, I won't hide it from you. I heard that the fifth young lady of the Lan family is a very talented alchemist. Moreover, it's said that the master of the Alchemist Association headquarters president intends to take her in as his disciple personally. Alas, that poor old man. I'm praying for him, hoping that his tolerance is strong enough not to be angered to death by Lan Ninger. Would that old man be so miserable if he accepted Lan Ninger as his disciple? The little old man's mouth twitched. Isn't this girl exaggerating a little too much? Old man, if you don't believe me, you can verify it yourself. With your current attire, Lan Ninger will definitely treat you as a beggar, Lung Ruoxue said confidently. Surely not, right? The little old man looked down at the clothes on his body. Although they were not very luxurious, they were very clean. She shouldn't treat him as a beggar. Why don't we make a bet? Lung Ruoxue said with a light smile. She was really addicted to gambling. The little old man was interested and asked excitedly, Bet on what? Old man, if you win, I will provide you with whatever herbs you need for free as long as I have them. If you lose, you have to take him in as your disciple. How about this bet? Lung Ruoxue said with a smile, her expression very sincere and full of confidence. The little old man was about to say something when he felt someone tugging at the corner of his shirt. He lowered his head. It was the little fox. Little fox, what's the matter? The little old man asked curiously. Old man, don't bet with my master. You will lose for sure. Charm's fluffy little face was full of sympathy. The little old man was a little puzzled and couldn't help thinking, does even this little beast not think highly of my chances? However, he might also be afraid that his master will lose. That Lan Ninger is so naughty, old man. Lan Ninger thinks I'm cute and beautiful, but she actually wants to kill me and make me into a scarf. Boo! I'm so scared. Charm doesn't want to be made into a scarf. Charm's beautiful purple eyes were full of tears as he spoke pitifully. His scared little appearance was enough to make anyone pity him. Chapter 426, Verification 1. What? The old man was angry when he heard this. She wouldn't even let go of such cute little beasts? He only had 2 hobbies in his life. One was alchemy, and the other was cute little beasts. Otherwise, he wouldn't have listened to these little beasts at the city gate for so long. They were so cute that they were irresistible. Old man, I've heard that some humans especially like to use foxes as scarves, but it's not my fault that I'm beautiful. Moreover, I have my master. Boo! What should I do if the Lan family's 5th young lady wants to snatch me by force? My master can't beat the Lan family, Charm said worriedly, tears rolling in his crystal-like purple eyes. Don't be afraid. Lan Ninger won't dare to touch you with me around, the little old man promised. Really? But you are just an ordinary little old man. You can't beat the Lan family, so we shouldn't implicate you. Moreover, don't bet with my master. You will definitely lose, Charm reminded again, looking like he was siding with outsiders. Charm, I really doted on you for nothing, Lung Ruoxue said with slight disappointment, but she was already laughing in her heart. Hee, she didn't expect the most understanding Charm to be so scheming. In fact, Lan Ninger had never seen him before, and of course she had never said anything like using him as a scarf. But it was possible if Lan Ninger saw Charm. Master, this old man will definitely lose. We can't take advantage of him like this. Charm said very kindly, his face full of guilt for his master. Little friend. I'll bet with you, the little old man suddenly said. Even if he was doomed to lose, he wanted to see what kind of person Lan Ning'er was. Old man, let me first congratulate you on receiving a good disciple, Lung Ruoxue said with a smile. Don't congratulate me too early. What if I win? The little old man said, unwilling to admit defeat. He wanted to see if Lan Ning'er was really useless apart from her talent. Miss, I can't be the wager, Jing En suddenly said. The little old man's face was full of question marks. I don't have the qualifications to be an alchemist, Jing En said honestly. All alchemists who accepted disciples hoped that the disciple would surpass the master. But he couldn't do alchemy openly, so he really didn't want to disappoint this old man. Oh, you haven't registered or been appraised at the Alchemist Association, right? That's okay. You just have to register. As for the appraisal, there's no rush, the little old man comforted. I registered, but later, I was expelled from the Alchemist Association headquarters, Zheng En said with some difficulty. Why is that? The little old man's eyes widened in disbelief. When did the Alchemist Association headquarters expel alchemists? Why didn't he know? Because Zheng En really couldn't say it. Old man, do you still dare to take Zheng En as your disciple after knowing that he was an alchemist expelled from the Alchemist Association headquarters? Lung Ruoxue asked provocatively with her eyebrows slightly raised, helping Zheng En out of the predicament. What's there to be afraid of? I've lived for so long, and I've never been afraid of anyone. The little old man couldn't be provoked, and his powerful aura spread out. Old man, I'm just a small elementary mystic. I can't take any shock or scare. Lung Ruoxue teased, but she was muttering in her heart, this little old man is indeed a powerhouse, and he's even stronger than I imagined. Swear, this old man might look inconspicuous, but he's a mystic supremacy. Empty said via voice transmission. Hee, doesn't that mean I found a powerful master for Zheng En? Lung Ruoxue also replied via voice transmission. Yes, this boy Zheng En is really lucky to have met you. Empty praised. He's my subordinate. Of course, I have to plan for him, Lung Ruoxue said matter-of-factly and then cut off the connection. After communicating with Empty, Lung Ruoxue turned her gaze to the little old man. In her eyes, this little old man was about the same as a heavenly material and earthly treasure. They were all so precious. Moreover, she had already decided that she had to think of a way to get this little old man to take Zheng En as his disciple. Zheng En would be considered to have a backer in the future if he had such a powerful master. The little old man hurriedly retracted his might and said with some embarrassment, Hee, I'm sorry. Little friend, I was too excited. That's okay, Zheng En. Hurry up and greet your master. Lung Ruoxue reminded Zheng En, who was stunned. Little friend, our bet hasn't begun yet. Don't be too anxious, the little old man said helplessly as 2 drops of cold sweat dripped down his forehead. Miss. Zheng En looked at Lung Ruoxue awkwardly. It's only a matter of time. Lung Ruoxue said confidently. Little friend, since you're so confident, then our bet will be limited to 5 days. Within 5 days, I'll think of a way to come into contact with Lan Ning'er. If she really is as you say, I'll take this brat as my disciple. If you've lied to me, then you have to be ready to provide the herbs I need at any time in the future, the little old man said with a loud laugh. He didn't seem to lose out in this bet no matter if he won or lost. He could already tell that Zheng En's aptitude was very good. No problem. But in order to prove that you really understand Lan Ning'er's situation, let Charm stay by your side for the time being as a witness. Lung Ruoxue said in a businesslike manner. In fact, she had another purpose for letting Charm follow the little old man. Hee. Okay, the little old man answered readily. Master. Charm jumped into Lung Ruoxue's arms, his face full of reluctance. Boo. I don't want to leave Master. Charm, you are a witness to this bet. This mission is very important. Lung Ruoxue caressed the soft fur on Charm's body and comforted him. Master, I will definitely complete the mission. Charm said with tears in his eyes. Little friend, don't worry. I'll take good care of him, the little old man said speechlessly. It would only be 5 days away from his master. Did he have to make it seem like they were parting ways through life and death? Not only do you have to take good care of him, but you also have to protect him, Lung Ruoxue reminded. Chapter 427, Verification, 2. Yes, I understand, the little old man quickly promised. He would always keep this little fox with him at all times, so Charm should be fine. It's good that you understand. Lung Ruoxue nodded with satisfaction. Little friend, I'll enter the city first. The little old man took Charm from Lung Ruoxue and hugged him in his arms. The old man, please help us promote if anyone wants to exchange herbs. And this. It's filled with Charm's favorite food, enough for him to eat for 5 days. Lung Ruoxue handed the old man a storage ring and asked him to keep it on Charm's behalf. Little friend, don't worry. I won't let your precious pet beast starve, the little old man said with a face full of black lines. Alas, this girl is underestimating me a little too much. Does she think that I can't even support a pet beast? However, he still took the ring, took out a thin thread from his ring, passed the string through the ring, and tied it around Charm's neck. Old man, you might not know, but my beasts are too picky. I have to prepare food for them every time I go out, Lung Ruoxue explained. Well, she was very satisfied with this little old man's thoughtfulness. Hee, looks like you're also someone who likes to pamper pet beasts, the little old man said happily as if he had found a comrade. Yes, it's getting late. Hurry up and enter the city. Lung Ruoxue urged. Little friend, we're leaving. See you in 5 days. Then the little old man walked into Blue Cloud City with Charm in his arms without looking back. As soon as the little old man left, Freak and the others emerged from their tents. Ha! Lass, you're so naughty, old Zeo said with a smile. They had heard every word of the conversation between the girl and the old man just now. Alas, if the girl wanted to plot against someone, no one could escape. Schwer, you're addicted to gambling. Freak said lovingly as he hugged Lung Ruoxue's slender waist. I just want to find a master for Zheng-en. That old man is very powerful. Apart from being a mystic supremacy, his alchemist level isn't low either. Lung Ruoxue glanced at old Zeo and explained. If she wasn't mistaken, that old man should be an alchemy supremacy. Miss, I can learn from you. There's no need to look for a master, Zheng-en said. Even an alchemy supremacy couldn't compare to his young lattice strength. Zheng-en, it's our first time here after all, and our strength isn't very high right now. If you have an alchemy supremacy as your master, I'm sure the people from the Alchemy Association headquarters won't dare to make things too difficult for you, Lung Ruoxue said. Miss, Zheng-en was a little choked up. He looked at Lung Ruoxue gratefully, his heart full of gratitude. Ooh, Miss is so good to me and so thoughtful for me. Alright, don't be like this. Hurry up and get to work. Lung Ruoxue urged. Since Zheng-en was hers, she only wanted Zheng-en's loyalty. As for gratitude, there was no need to be so polite with her own people. Yes, miss. Zheng-en said excitedly. At this moment, Darling happened to bring someone over. Beloved master, someone wants to exchange herbs with us again. Darling jumped into Lung Ruoxue's arms, rubbed against her affectionately, and acted coquettishly. Yes, good. Lung Ruoxue caressed Darling's little head and coaxed him. I want to exchange for a stalk of golden silk grass, said the middle-aged man Darling brought over. Take a look at our conditions first. Zheng-en pointed at the 2 signs in front of him. Okay, the middle-aged man answered and began reading carefully. I'm willing to exchange my 100-year-old ice lotus with you, the middle-aged man said directly after reading it. Okay, take a look first. Zheng-en took out a small stalk of grass as thin as a golden thread and handed it to the middle-aged man, asking him to inspect the goods first. This is the ice lotus. The middle-aged man glanced at the golden silk grass and impatiently exchanged the ice lotus for it. After the transaction, Zheng-en saw the middle-aged man still standing here and asked doubtfully, Do you want to exchange for anything else? No. I just want to ask if I can set up a stall beside you, the middle-aged man said shyly. Of course you can. Lung Ruoxue suppressed her smile. He, set it up. Do it here. She would be happy if the Lan family's medicinal herb exchange meeting was awkward. Thank you. The middle-aged man thanked them, then took out the herbs he had prepared beforehand and also set up a stall outside the city gate. Gradually, more and more alchemists exchanged herbs with Lung Ruoxue and the others. Similarly, more and more alchemists set up stalls outside the city gate. In Blue Cloud City, the sky gradually darkened in the evening. The little old man who had made a bet with Lung Ruoxue was walking on the busy streets with mixed feelings. In his arms, Charm was dozing off with his eyes narrowed. The little old man looked resentfully at the soundly sleeping Charm and felt very uncomfortable in his heart. He had only entered the city for half a day, but he was already deeply affected because he found that this little fox's food was better than his. During dinner just now, he had casually found a food stall on the street and had a simple meal. But this little fox's dinner was incomparably sumptuous, and the aroma was so alluring. Ooh, my master is the best master in the world. The little fox had said this to him happily and looked at him with pity earlier. This also greatly stimulated the little old man. So after dinner, he searched the streets, wanting to find the best inn in Blue Cloud City. He had to recover his face in front of the little fox. Boo-hoo, I don't want to see the little fox's sympathetic gaze anymore. I really didn't lack money. This one. The little old man searched for a long time and finally found an inn that satisfied him on the busiest street in Blue Cloud City. The inn in front of the little old man was called Home. From the outside, the decoration was very luxurious. Although the entire inn only had 3 floors, it occupied a very large area. A huge signboard hung above the inn, with the word Home on it. In the lower right corner was a flying eagle with its wings spread wide. Everyone knew that this was the Lan family's emblem, indicating that this inn belonged to the Lan family. Chapter 428. Verification 3. Since it's an inn of the Lan family, the service shouldn't be poor, the little old man thought. He was still very confident in the reputation of the Lan family. With this thought, he walked right in. Gentlemen, would you like to dine in? The waiter came forward and asked after seeing the little old man. I want to stay in the inn, the little old man said lightly. I'm really sorry. There have been too many alchemists coming to our Blue Cloud City recently, so the ordinary guest rooms are already full. Do you want to change to another inn? There's a cheap and economical one just 2 streets away from our inn that is very suitable for you. The waiter was very polite, but his implied meaning was very uncomfortable. Charm raised his eyes slightly and said lightly, Old man, just stay here. They'll pay for it if you don't have money. Who said I don't have money? Which other rooms do you have? I want one, the little old man roared angrily. The way the waiter looked at him made him want to beat him up. There's only a luxury suite left, but it's very expensive for a night there, the waiter said carefully. Is this money enough? The little old man took out a silver card from his ring and waved it in front of the waiter. Enough, the waiter stammered. He really didn't expect such an inconspicuous old man to have a silver card. One had to know that silver cards were issued by the Lung family of the 3 great families. Moreover, they had established a contract, and the cards were under the protection of heaven and earth laws. No one could fake one. Furthermore, the minimum balance for owning a silver card was 50 million purple gold coins. Then why haven't you brought us to the room yet? The little old man roared furiously. He had only been away from the continent for a little more than a decade, but he didn't expect the Lan family to become snobbish. Yes, please follow me. After knowing that this little old man was very rich, the waiter didn't dare to delay at all and directly led him to the luxury suite on the 2nd floor. Is this the one? The little old man asked as he stood at the door. Yes. Are you satisfied with it? The waiter said respectfully and pushed open the door. The little old man walked into the room, casually glanced around, and said coldly, Barely. I'll be leaving first. The waiter bowed and left the room. After the waiter left, The little old man sat down on the bed gloomily and glared at Charm, who was covering his mouth and laughing. He said with slight displeasure, "Is it very funny?" "Ha!" Charm couldn't help laughing hysterically after hearing this. "Laugh. Laugh all you want. I'm going to bed," the little old man said irritably, depressed to death. "Ha!" Charm also lay down on the bed after laughing enough. Before long, the human and beast entered dreamland. The next day, after waking up, the little old man woke Charm up. Charm opened his beautiful purple eyes and said with some displeasure, "I haven't slept enough." "Charm, it's almost noon. We can't sleep anymore. We have to think of a way to get close to Lan Ninger," the little old man said with a frown while thinking, "How can I get close to Lan Ninger to see her true appearance? You're the one who wants to get close to her, not me. I don't want to deliver myself to her door and make a scarf for her," Charm said without interest. "Then, can you help me think of an idea?" the little old man coaxed with a smile. A day had passed. He had thought of several plans, but he rejected them in the end. "Actually, you don't have to get close to her at all." Charm smiled mysteriously. "If I don't get close to her, how can I see her true appearance?" the little old man asked in puzzlement. "Why don't you ask around on the streets and see what everyone thinks of Lan Ninger?" Charm suggested. "That's a good idea," the little old man said after some thought. "Then what are we waiting for? Let's go quickly. The bet between you and my master ends in only 4 days," Charm reminded very kindly. "Let's eat something first. I'm a little hungry," the little old man said pitifully. "Okay." Charm nodded and jumped onto the little old man's shoulder. The little old man left the room with Charm and walked toward the dining room. When they arrived at the dining room, the little old man found a window seat and sat down. He ordered a few dishes to eat, and Charm was naturally eating the food Lung Ruoxue had prepared for him. While eating, the little old man suddenly heard the conversation at the next table. Moreover, the content of their conversation was about Lan Ninger, so he pricked up his ears to listen. "Hey, did you hear? The Lan family's 5th young lady is about to become His Excellency Du Min's disciple," whispered a middle-aged man at the next table. "Really?" a young man said in disbelief. "It's true. This matter has been made public in the Lan family for a long time. All we can do now is wait for His Excellency Du Min to come to our Blue Cloud City," the middle-aged man said seriously. "If Lan Ninger becomes His Excellency Du Min's disciple, wouldn't she be the junior sister of the Alchemist Association headquarters president?" the young man said in surprise. "Yes. I really don't know what His Excellency is thinking. He actually accepted Lan Ninger as his disciple. He really doesn't have eyes," the middle-aged man said with emotion. "If Lan Ninger has such a big backer, won't she be able to do whatever she wants in the Lan family in the future?" the young man said in realization. The middle-aged man looked around and lowered his voice. "Of course. She's very arrogant now. I heard that the young master of the Lan family is about to change as well." "Really? Tell me about Lan Ninger." The little old man suddenly ran to the next table and interrupted curiously. "How can you eavesdrop on us?" the middle-aged man questioned vigilantly. "I didn't eavesdrop. You were talking too loudly. But don't worry. I won't talk nonsense. I just want to know about Lan Ninger. Tell me about her," the little old man said shamelessly. "You really won't talk nonsense?" the middle-aged man asked doubtfully. "Don't worry. I'm not from Blue Cloud City, and I don't know you. How can I talk nonsense? But I want to understand this 5th young lady of the Lan family," the little old man said very sincerely. Chapter 429, Verification, 4. Why do you want to understand her? The middle-aged man couldn't help asking, his expression still skeptical. "I heard from you that Lan Ninger doesn't seem to have a good temper. I'm afraid that I won't know what to do if I meet her, so I want to understand her first," the little old man said very patiently. "Oh, Miss Lan Ninger is our boundless heaven continent's #1 beauty. However, if you see an incomparably beautiful woman on the streets, you have to avoid her so that you won't suffer from an undeserved calamity," the middle-aged man reminded kindly. "Why is that?" The little old man's face was full of question marks. Is Lan Ninger a tiger? Why should I avoid her? The middle-aged man was about to explain when someone suddenly shouted, Lan Ninger is here. Immediately, the entire restaurant became a mess, and everyone instantly scattered. The little old man looked at the empty dining room in surprise. The people had run away cleanly in the blink of an eye. Several black lines unnaturally rolled down his forehead. So what if Lan Ninger is here? Why are you running? Can she still eat you? The little old man thought. Even now, he didn't really believe Lan Ninger's power. After all, he hadn't seen it with his own eyes yet. Just as the little old man was frowning and thinking about it, Lan Ninger was led into the dining room. Fifth Miss, you're here. Hee, why didn't you inform us in advance so that we could prepare? The inn manager walked directly to Lan Ninger's side and said respectfully when he saw her. In fact, he was very annoyed with Lan Ninger in his heart, but she was a young lady of the Lan family. Therefore, he could only bear with it no matter how much he hated her. But every time Lan Ninger came, many guests would be scared away. Don't count the losses caused to the inn on him. I'm here for a surprise inspection. How can I investigate if I let you prepare? Lan Ninger said matter-of-factly, a smug smile on her beautiful face. Fifth Miss is right, the inn manager said with a smile. Lan Ninger casually glanced at the dining room and then said with slight dissatisfaction, Manager, why isn't there anyone here? Ah. The manager wiped the cold sweat off his forehead, not knowing how to answer. Could he say, because miss, you've scared them away? After hearing what Lan Ninger said, the little old man frowned, and the corner of his mouth twitched. Aren't I human? Isn't there still charm in me? Manager, does Grandpa know that this inn's business is so bad? Lan Ninger questioned with some dissatisfaction. Yes, the patriarch knows, the manager said carefully and then added in his heart, the patriarch also knows that business in the inn will only be so bad when you come here. Oh, Grandpa knows, but I have to tell Grandpa when we get home that the inn's business isn't good. How can we continue like this? Lan Ninger's beautiful face was full of worry. The patriarch will definitely be very happy that Fifth Miss is so concerned about the Lan family's business, the manager coaxed. But he couldn't help worrying in his heart. The business in the inn wouldn't be a problem as long as the fifth young lady stopped causing trouble a few times. Yes, manager, why did you let a beggar in? Not just anyone can enter our stores. Lan Ninger turned her head and looked at the little old man disdainfully. The manager was at a loss for words. Lan Ninger liked to judge people by their appearance, so even if he said that this old man wasn't a beggar, it would probably not change her opinion. Little girl, are you referring to me as a beggar? The little old man pointed at himself and asked uncertainly. Then he looked around. Well, there was no one else in the inn except for him and the little fox. It's you. Not just anyone can enter our Lan family stores. You're not qualified. Lan Ninger said with a snobbish look. Little girl, didn't your parents teach you not to judge a book by its cover? The little old man said with some displeasure while suppressing his anger. You damn old man, how dare you try to teach me? Who do you think you are? Lan Ninger was instantly angry and roared furiously when she saw this inconspicuous old man actually dared to lecture her. Little girl, you're really too rude. The little old man shook his head in disappointment. Alas, why is the upbringing of the Lan family becoming worse and worse? He really couldn't understand. There's no need for manners with beggars, Lan Ninger said nonchalantly. The little old man was silent. It was his first time coming into contact with this Lan Ninger, but he knew that he had lost. It seemed like this Lan family's fifth young lady was really not a good person. Let's go. Charm had jumped off the table at some point and was gently tugging at the little old man's sleeve. Alas. Let's go. The little old man didn't want to stay in Blue Cloud City anymore. Otherwise, he would probably be even more disappointed. Manager, we're checking out. The little old man turned to look at the inn manager and handed him a silver card. Yes, please wait a moment. The inn manager respectfully took the silver card from the little old man and turned to settle the bill. After settling the bill, the little old man picked Charm up and turned to leave the inn. But he was stopped by someone after taking a few steps. Old thing, wait, Lon Ninger said loudly, afraid that the old man was deaf and couldn't hear her. The little old man stopped and said irritably, Miss Lon, is there anything else? Is this little fox yours? Lon Ninger's eyes lit up as she looked at Charm, who was entirely snow-white without a single stray hair. Yes, he belongs to a beggar like me, the little old man said coldly. Leave this fox behind before you can leave, Lon Ninger said domineeringly. But he's mine. The little old man hugged Charm tightly and pretended to be afraid. He's obviously mine. You stole my pet beast. Don't you all think so too? Lon Ninger turned around and said to her subordinates, obviously lying through her teeth. Chapter 430. The Beast's Soft and Hard Coercion. 1. That's right. How can a beggar like you have a pet beast? Who will believe you? The people behind Lon Ninger quickly echoed. Charm. It seems like they want to snatch you by force. What should we do? The little old man looked at the small and cute Charm and pretended to be worried. You have to protect me. I don't belong to this ugly monster. Charm pouted with some dissatisfaction. Lon Ninger really dares to have designs on me. She really doesn't know life from death. You little bastard, who are you calling an ugly monster? Lon Ninger shouted angrily when she heard that she was actually being called an ugly monster by a fox. It's you. Your heart is black, and your liver is stinky. What are you if not an ugly monster? Charm asked in return. Little bastard, you're really courting death. Just you wait. When I obtain you, I'll skin you alive and make you into a scarf, Lon Ninger threatened fiercely. Just with you? Charm's beautiful purple eyes looked Lon Ninger up and down, his fluffy little face full of doubts. Yes, miss. I'm the fifth young lady of the Lon family. There's nothing I can't have once I want something, Lon Ninger said with a proud expression on her face. Is that so? A questioning voice sounded from behind everyone. Lon Lai's group of 3 were standing at the entrance of the inn with a smile that was not a smile on their faces as they looked at Lon Ninger. Big brother Lung. Lon Ninger immediately called out gently like a different person after seeing Lung Wudi. At this moment, Lung Wudi was the only existence in her eyes. She automatically ignored the other 2. The little old man was a little speechless as he looked at the rapidly changing Lon Ninger. He rubbed his eyes in disbelief. Was the current Lon Ninger really the same person as the arrogant, domineering, barbaric, and overbearing Lon Ninger from before? The difference before and after was a little too big. Lon Lai, who was completely ignored, walked to the little old man with a face full of guilt. He bowed and said, Elder, you weren't scared, were you? No. You are? The little old man looked at Lon Lai and thought, is this kid also from the Lon family? Lon Lai, the young master of the Lon family, Lon Lai explained and looked at the little snow-white fox in the little old man's arms from the corner of his eye. Why does this little fox look so familiar? He seemed to have seen it somewhere before, but all foxes appeared to look the same. Oh, you're the young master of the Lon family who's about to be replaced, the little old man said in realization. The news spread really quickly, Lon Lai said helplessly. But it wasn't so easy to replace him. Alas. In fact, he really hoped that his second uncle and the others could succeed. However, he was afraid that they would have worked for nothing in the end. Brat, you're not unhappy, are you? The little old man said understandingly. Hee, this kid's reaction was written all over his face. Otherwise, if others heard him say this, they would definitely turn hostile. How do you know? Lon Lai asked softly, his handsome face full of curiosity. You didn't turn hostile, the little old man said with a naughty smile. You're right. I couldn't ask for more. Lon Lai said honestly. Hee kid, you're quite unconventional. I like you, the little old man said with a chuckle. Thank you. Elder, is this little fox yours? Lon Lai thanked him first and then couldn't help asking curiously. He's mine. What's the matter? Don't have any ideas about him. He's too young to make a scarf, the little old man warned with a wary look in his eyes. Elder, you're mistaken. I just think he resembles my friend's pet beast, Lon Lai said awkwardly. Boo! When did I say that I wanted to turn this little fox into a scarf? I shouldn't be wronged like this. As long as you don't have any ideas about charm, the little old man said with relief. Lan Ninger, who was ignored by Lung Wudi, turned her head and happened to see Lan Lai talking to the little old man. She roared, "Lan Lai, this fox is mine." Unfortunately, neither Lan Lai nor the little old man paid any attention to her. "Lan Lai, can we leave now?" Sun Ting urged impatiently. "Okay, let's go. Elder, leave this place quickly too," Lan Lai said and then reminded the little old man. The little old man grabbed Lan Lai's sleeve and asked curiously, "Wait, brat, where are you going?" "We're going to the medicinal herb exchange meeting," Lan Lai said. Although the medicinal herb exchange meeting had not officially begun, a number of alchemists had already gathered there, so of course he had to go and see the commotion. "Oh, I want to go there too. We're heading the same way." The little old man planned to rely on Lan Lai. "Then let's go together," Lan Lai said as he glanced at Lan Ninger. The little old man nodded, hugged Charm, and left the inn with Lan Lai and the others. "Stop right there. No one is allowed to leave." Lan Ninger stomped her feet in anger and shouted from behind Lan Lai and the others. Unfortunately, she was ignored. After Lan Lai and the others left the inn, they went directly to the medicinal herb exchange venue. At this moment, the entire venue had been set up. Moreover, some alchemists had already entered and were waiting for the medicinal herb exchange meeting to officially begin 3 days later. "Young master, why are you here?" The person in charge of the venue ran over obediently and respectfully when he saw Lan Lai. Although he was in the second master's faction, Lan Lai was the young master of the Lan family after all, so he didn't dare to be disrespectful to Lan Lai. "Steward Wu, there doesn't seem to be many alchemists coming for the exchange this year," Lan Lai said knowingly as he looked at the sparse number of people in the entire venue. He had long been laughing in his heart. Alas! Second uncle thought that the profits in the exchange would be huge, so he did everything he could and finally obtained the right to manage this year's medicinal herb exchange meeting. But he probably wouldn't have dreamed that this year's exchange would actually be such a failure. He was really too happy. "Young master, there are still 3 days before the exchange meeting begins. Most alchemists have not arrived yet. Moreover, the exchange will last for more than half a month, so many alchemists are not in a hurry," Steward Wu explained. In fact, he was also a little puzzled. Logically speaking, Blue Cloud City should have been packed with people by this time in the previous years. But why was it so quiet this year? Apart from some alchemists who came a while ago, these 2 days should have been the peak period for alchemists to come to Blue Cloud City, but no alchemists entered the city at all. Chapter 431. The Beast's Soft and Hard Coercion, 2. "Oh, I see." Lan Lai nodded as though he understood. He asked Steward Wu a few simple questions and then walked around the venue. Steward Wu naturally followed closely behind Lan Lai and waited on him carefully. At this moment, the little old man came to a stall alone with Charm in his arms. The little old man squatted down and asked lightly, "How can I exchange for this silver leaf grass?" "I want to exchange for a silver bellflower," the young man setting up the stall said softly as he glanced at the little old man. "Silver bellflower? Is this it?" The little old man took out a small silver bell-shaped flower from his ring. "Yes, that's right. Elder, are you willing to exchange it with me?" the young man said excitedly. He had been looking for a silver bellflower for a long time and didn't expect to finally see it today. Moreover, the silver bellflower in the little old man's hand was actually still fresh and of superior quality. He was really satisfied. "No," the little old man said softly as he put away the silver bellflower. "Elder, are you playing with me?" the young man said with some displeasure. If he was unwilling to exchange it with him, why did he take it out to bait him? "Boo! Young man, don't be anxious. Listen to me," the little old man said calmly. "Then tell me." The young man didn't know what the little old man wanted to say to him, but he still politely listened to him. "Young man, to be honest, I also exchanged for this silver bellflower with someone else. I'm not sure if she still has any, but I think you can try," the little old man suggested. Really? Who did you exchange with? The young man looked around the venue, looking for suspicious people. But there were not many people in the venue now, and he had basically asked everyone. Could he have missed someone? Young man, stop looking. That person isn't here. Where can I find that person? The young man said anxiously. The silver bellflower was really too important to him, so he definitely couldn't let go of this opportunity. Young man, I'm telling you the truth. This person offended the Lan family's fifth young lady, so she was forbidden from entering Blue Cloud City by Lan Ninga. If you want to exchange with her, you can only go out of the city to exchange. Moreover, she has a lot of good things in her hands. The little old man lowered his voice as if he was deceiving a white bunny. Okay, I'll go out of the city to find her. Elder, where is she outside the city? The young man said impatiently. 30 meters to the right of the city, the little old man whispered. Thank you, Elder. The young man quickly packed up and prepared to leave. The alchemists in the venue familiar with him couldn't help being a little curious after seeing him planning to leave, so they asked him the full story. Then they also packed up and left. Just like that, they spread the news one by one. In less than half an hour, the entire venue was empty. Why did everyone leave? Lan Lai asked with a suppressed smile after seeing the alchemists pack up and leave impatiently. Good job. Let's go. I guess they suddenly have an urgent matter. Steward Wu guessed. After all, the exchange had not officially begun, so he never thought that anyone would dare to dig the Lan family's corner. After seeing everyone leave, Charm and the little old man looked at each other in tacit understanding, smiled evilly, and clapped their hands to celebrate. Steward Wu, go about your business. There's no need to wait on me. I'm just here to take a look, Lan Lai said. Yes, young master. I'll take my leave then. Steward Wu bowed and left. Don't you find that little fox a little familiar? Lan Lai asked doubtfully after Steward Wu left. What's wrong with your eyes? Isn't that Lung Ruox's fox? Sun Ting rolled his eyes at Lan Lai. It's really that one? But that old man said the fox is his. Lan Lai was depressed. Oh, he had been fooled. Of course, he would say the fox is his if it follows him, Lung Wudi said helplessly. Alas, his good friend was too naive sometimes. Could he have snatched it from Lung Ruoxue? Lan Lai guessed after hearing Lung Wudi's words. Are pet beasts that have recognized their masters so easy to snatch? Lung Wudi looked at Lan Lai as if he was looking at an idiot. Then what happened? I have to ask clearly. With that, Lan Lai walked directly to the man and beast. You are Lung Ruox's fox, right? Lan Lai asked directly. Charm rolled his eyes at Lan Lai and asked in return, Is there a problem? Then why didn't you say anything when I asked you just now? Lan Lai said through gritted teeth. You didn't ask me. Charm covered his mouth and giggled. Upon hearing what Charm said, Lan Lai felt extraordinarily depressed. He turned his gaze to the little old man and looked at him resentfully. Lan family brat, don't look at me like that. I'm Charm's guardian now, so of course he's mine now, the little old man said matter-of-factly without blushing or panting. All right, I'm not angry that you lied to me. Then can you tell me what your relationship with Lung Ruoxue is? Lan Lai asked very curiously. When did such an old man appear beside Lung Ruoxue? Lan family brat, I have nothing to do with the Lung Ruoxue you mentioned. But if the Lung Ruoxue you're talking about is the master of this little fox, then I'm just making a bet with her, the little old man explained. What bet? Lan Lai's curiosity was piqued. The little old man was helpless and could only tell him about his bet with Lung Ruoxue. But who expected that Lan Lai actually laughed hysterically after hearing it? Lan family brat, is this very funny? The little old man asked gloomily. He knew that he had lost, but this kid didn't have to laugh so exaggeratedly. It's too much. Ooh, of course it's funny. Elder, you actually made a bet with a little fox. You're definitely going to lose. Lan Lai said with a smile until his tears were about to fall. Chapter 432, The Beast's Soft and Hard Coercion, 3, Little fox. The little old man looked at Charm and fell silent. Old man, I told you not to make a bet with my master. But you refused to listen, Charm couldn't help saying. It doesn't matter. I will admit defeat if I lose. Anyway, it won't be a loss for me. I'll have a disciple with excellent aptitude, the little old man said generously. Lan family brat, tell me more about Lan Ninga. The little old man then said to Lan Lai. He was really curious. How did the Lan family raise such a piece of work? Okay, if you want to know, I'll tell you about her glorious deeds. There's enough to talk about for 3 days and 3 nights, Lan Lai said with a chuckle. Then let's find a place to sit and talk, the little old man suggested. No problem. Lan Lai nodded. The 4 of them and 1 beast left the exchange venue, found a tea house nearby, and began chatting. Outside the city gate, Lung Ruox's exchange meeting was in full swing, and it was extraordinarily lively. There were even more alchemists setting up stalls around her. Big sister, bring me some more herbs, the little black dog said while running to Lung Ruoxue. Here you go. Lung Ruoxue directly handed Blackie a storage ring. Her exchange meeting had only been open for 2 days, but she had gained a lot these 2 days. Not only did she exchange for a lot of precious herbs, but she also got to know many alchemists. Moreover, she let Blackie, who was knowledgeable about herbs, out because of the severe shortage of manpower. Blackie was obviously very adept at such busy work. As for her grandfather and the others, they took the initiative to maintain order because they didn't know much about herbs. Schwer, you must be exhausted. Freak came to Lung Ruox's side and wiped the sweat off her forehead with some heartache. It's okay, Lung Ruoxue said happily. She didn't know how the Lan family would react if they knew that she had dug out their corner and plotted against them. But it was very strange. It had been 2 days. Why was there no movement from the Lan family at all? Schwer, if the Lan family finds out that we held an exchange meeting on our own, they probably won't let us go. Freak teased. It's okay. Anyway, the feud with the Lan family is set. However, the reaction of the Lan family's patriarch is quite strange, Lung Ruoxue said doubtfully. Logically speaking, their behavior outside the city should be in the Lan family's plain sight, but no one from the Lan family came out to stop them. Lung Ruoxue was chatting with Freak when a young man suddenly appeared in front of them and asked, Do you have a silver bellflower? You want to exchange for a silver bellflower? Lung Ruoxue asked doubtfully. There had been too many alchemists who wanted to exchange for silver bellflowers, so she had already removed silver bellflowers from the exchange list. So this young man shouldn't know, right? Yes, please exchange with me if you still have more. The young man said very sincerely. How did you know we have silver bellflowers? Lung Ruoxue asked cautiously. An elderly man and a little fox told me. I really need a silver bellflower. Can you exchange it with me? The young man said honestly. What would you exchange for it? Lung Ruoxue asked. So he was introduced by the little old man and Charm. They were pretty fast. I can exchange a stalk of silverleaf grass with you. If it's not enough, I can add some other herbs, the young man said sincerely. No need. Just use the silverleaf grass. Lung Ruoxue said and gave Freak a look. After receiving Lung Ruox's signal, Freak took out a silver bellflower from his ring and handed it to the young man. Thank you. I'm so grateful. The young man said happily. Boo. I finally got it. It really wasn't easy. The young man took out the silverleaf grass. After the 2 of them exchanged, he mimicked the other alchemists and set up a stall outside the city. Schwer, looks like the Lan family's medicinal herb exchange meeting will be over soon, Freak whispered with a smile on his face. It's okay. The Lan family won't mind, Lung Ruoxue said with a light smile. During the time they were talking, many alchemists came to exchange herbs with them. Moreover, they knew the young man from before, so Lung Ruoxue readily exchanged the required herbs with them. Master, I'm back. At this moment, a white shadow pounced into Lung Ruox's arms with a whoosh. Charm, why are you back so soon? Lung Ruoxue hugged the cute little snow-white beast in her arms and asked doubtfully. It had only been 2 days. Master, I finished my mission and came back early. Charm kept rubbing himself in Lung Ruoxue's arms. Ooh, I missed Master so much. Little friend, I'm back too. The little old man appeared in front of Lung Ruoxue gloomily. Old man, have you admitted defeat? Lung Ruoxue asked in realization. I lost. That Lan Ninger is worse than you said, the little old man said angrily. How could the Lan family have such a descendant? How disappointing. Ah. Lung Ruoxue looked at the little old man, a little puzzled. Why is this little old man so angry? Could the Lan family have a close relationship with him? Little friend. I admit defeat. Where's my disciple? The little old man looked around, looking for Zheng En. Zheng En is over there. Lung Ruoxue pointed at Zheng En, who was surrounded by people not far away. Oh, little friend, your exchange meeting is getting quite big. The little old man looked at the sea of people in front of him and was a little speechless. It hadn't even been 2 days, but it had already formed such a scale. Old man, I heard that the Lan family's medicinal herb exchange meeting will require admission tickets. Moreover, the price has increased this year. We're not charging here, so of course, many people will come. Moreover, I have real materials. Lung Ruoxue said with a smile. Her real materials naturally referred to those herbs. Hee, little friend, the Lan family still thinks that the alchemists who are participating in the exchange haven't arrived yet. How could they have expected you to stop them halfway? The little old man said with a happy smile. This little girl was really too smart. If his old friend knew about this, he would be depressed to death. Chapter 433, The Beast's Soft and Hard Coercion 4. Old man, I was also forced into a corner. How could I have thought of this if Lan Ninger didn't stop us from entering Blue Cloud City? Lung Ruoxue pretended to be pitiful, implying that she was actually the victim. Yes, Lan Ninger is indeed a little too much, the little old man said indignantly. He was even more furious after hearing what Lan Lai had said and finding out Lan Ninger had done since she was young. Old man, could it be that you were also bullied by Lan Ninger? Lung Ruoxue was really puzzled by this little old man's unusual anger. The only explanation was that this little old man had also become a victim. Master, Lan Ninger wants to use me as a scarf and calls him a beggar, Charm complained, his little face full of grievance and fear. Charm, don't be afraid. I won't let that woman off if she dares to touch you. Lung Ruoxue caressed Charm's soft fur and comforted him. I was right. Yes, Charm knows that Master will protect me. Charm nodded obediently, fully displaying his cute side as a little beast. Charm, don't be scared. I will protect you too, the little old man quickly declared. He had always been unable to resist cute little beasts like Charm. Yes, yes. Charm nodded happily. Little Snowy were here too, Lan Lai interrupted. Why are you here so soon? Lung Ruoxue asked helplessly. Wasn't the Lan family going to change their young master? Why was Lan Lai still wandering around as if nothing had happened? Little friend, they came with me. We met in Blue Cloud City, the little old man explained. Oh, Lan Lai, the Lan family is about to change their young master. Aren't you worried at all? Lung Ruoxue couldn't help teasing. Alas, Lan Lai is really heartless. So be it. Who cares? Lan Lai shrugged nonchalantly. He has always wanted to be replaced. Sun Ting interrupted. Little Snowy, your little beasts can really fool people. Lan Lai smiled and changed the topic awkwardly. Just now, Lung Wudi, and Sun Teng went to see the little beasts first because they were curious about how the few little beasts were drawing people in. After listening to them for a while, they were all in admiration of the few beasts because they were really too good at talking. Lung Ruoxue was a little puzzled. She knew that her beasts were very eloquent, but it didn't seem appropriate to use the word fool, right? Was he complimenting her beasts? Don't you know? Lan Lai said in disbelief. As their master, she actually doesn't know the abilities of her beasts. What a failure. I've been staying here exchanging herbs, Lung Ruoxue said honestly. She only knew that her beasts had brought many alchemists over, But she really didn't know what the beasts said to the alchemists. Hee hee, go take a look yourself. Lan Lai smiled mysteriously. Lung Ruoxue and Freak looked at each other and walked toward the location of the little beasts. Darling and the other beasts were currently surrounded by alchemists. Those who are passing by, quickly take a look. The best herbs are being exchanged. Darling began to shout loudly when he saw more and more alchemists gathering. Is there any fishy grass? Do you have a snake gallflower? The alchemists surrounding them asked in unison. Darling cleared his throat and said loudly, Stop. Everyone, quiet down and listen to me. Oh. Darling's words worked. After he finished speaking, everyone indeed fell silent. All of you calm down. My master's herbs are rare treasures seen once 1,000 years. Don't have any ideas about my master unless you can exchange herbs of equivalent value. Also, don't exchange for those ordinary herbs from my master. She doesn't have them. But you can set up a small stall beside her. At that time, the herbs you need will naturally be easy to obtain. After all, my master's exchange meeting is much more popular than whatever that Lan family put out. Moreover, I dare to say that the Lan family absolutely can't produce such good herbs as my master. Therefore, you only have one choice. You can't participate in the Lan family's medicinal herb exchange meeting if you exchange with my master. If you participate in the Lan family's exchange meeting, you naturally can't exchange with my master. Why is that? An alchemist who had just arrived at Blue Cloud City asked in puzzlement. After all, this didn't seem to conflict in his opinion. Of course, it's because of the Lan family's fifth young lady. That ugly monster actually prohibited my master from entering the city. My master can't enter. If you want to exchange herbs with my master, you can only stay outside to accompany her. Darling said matter-of-factly. After Darling finished his long speech, the alchemists surrounding them were a little flustered. They had really never seen such an overbearing beast. Moreover, the #1 beauty of the boundless heaven continent was actually called ugly by him. Alas, the aesthetics of beasts really couldn't be compared to that of humans. I'll tell you the truth. My master's medicinal herbs are the best on the entire boundless heaven continent. If you don't exchange with her, you will definitely regret it. And there's only one chance. Whether you can grasp it or not will depend on your choice. Darling cleared his throat and began talking non-stop again after speaking. Then it was Silverwing's turn to speak. I have nothing to say. However, what I want to tell you is that I've remembered your smell. If you dare to enter the city without permission, I'll bite you every time I see you in the future. Silverwings snorted coldly and warned. Hee hee, don't be afraid. In fact, I don't approve of using violence. However, sometimes I have to use it. I'll reiterate. If any of you go to the Lan family's medicinal herb exchange, I'll burn you every time I see you in the future. Don't doubt my words. You can't bear my fire, Feng Zhan threatened with a smile. After speaking, he even breathed a small flame to serve as a deterrent. Chapter 434. The Beast's Soft and Hard Coercion, 5. White Dawn, who had been lying on a recliner pretending to be a master, only snorted coldly and didn't say anything. But his snort made the surrounding people feel immense pressure. All right, I hope we can cooperate happily. Hurry up and find my master to exchange for herbs. Remember, there's nothing you can't exchange for. Darling summarized again and chased away the people surrounding them. Then he lay comfortably on a recliner, crossed his legs, drank tea, ate delicious snacks, and waited patiently for the next batch of alchemists to arrive. After everyone left, Lung Ruoxue and Freak slowly walked over from not far away. Beloved master! Darling was the first to jump into Lung Ruoxue's arms and acted coquettishly. You're so amazing! You actually used both coercion and temptation, Lung Ruoxue said with a laugh. She really couldn't do anything about her beasts. Alas, why are these little beasts so cute? Master, that ugly monster with the surname Lan actually dared to forbid you from entering the city. Then well ruin their medicinal herb exchange meeting, Darling said hatefully. Huh, that suits me. Lung Ruoxue caressed Darling's soft fur. Feng Zhan flew to Lung Ruoxue's shoulder and said with slight pride, Hee master, we have to make the Lan family suffer. Be careful. Lung Ruoxue said worriedly. She thought about it and also let Icy out of the bracelet. Little Snowy, I want to sleep, Icy said reluctantly. Sleep here. Lung Ruoxue said helplessly. She would be much more at ease with Icy staying with her beasts. All right. Icy looked at the beasts and answered. Then he jumped onto a recliner and laid down lazily. Lung Ruoxue left some food for the beasts and returned to the exchange venue. 3 days later, Lung Ruoxue's medicinal herb exchange meeting was extremely popular, attracting many alchemists. Today was also the opening day of the Lan family's medicinal herb exchange meeting. At the Lan family's medicinal herb exchange meeting venue, the second master of the Lan family, Lan Fei, who was presiding over the medicinal herb exchange meeting, arrived at the venue early. It was almost time for the exchange meeting to officially begin, but there was no one here. This made Lan Fei a little puzzled. Steward Wu, why isn't anyone here? Lan Fei asked with some dissatisfaction. Where did those damn alchemists go? There's actually not a single person? Second master, I'm not sure either, but I heard from the manager of the inn that many alchemists have checked out. Moreover, their whereabouts are unknown, Steward Wu replied cautiously with a forehead full of cold sweat. Then what are you waiting for? Hurry up and find out the reason. I won't let you go if we miss the time of the exchange. Lan Fei roared loudly, so angry that his face and neck were red, and the veins on his forehead bulged. Yes, I'll go immediately, Steward Wu said fearfully and disappeared with a whoosh. An hour later, a certain elder who came to participate in the opening of the medicinal herb exchange meeting began to make things difficult. Second master, can you explain what happened? The third elder, who was sitting in a chair, asked lightly. He had never liked this gloomy second master, so he naturally wouldn't let go of such a good opportunity. Steward Wu has already gone to investigate, Lan Fei said with cold sweat on his forehead. He was so angry. This was obviously his best chance to perform, but he didn't expect this to happen. Not only did he not get the chance to perform, but he also left a bad impression on others. Alas, the gains really didn't make up for the losses. You are only investigating it now? What were you doing earlier? The third elder snorted with a displeased face. This is just an accident. I think those alchemists are most likely delayed by something, Lan Fei explained with a frown. An accident? I think it's obviously a mistake, the third elder said stubbornly. Hee, third elder, calm down. It's the first time second master is in charge of such a big activity. It's normal for some accidents to happen without experience, the second elder mediated. Second elder, I know you watched Lan Fei grow up, but mistakes are mistakes. How can you use inexperience as an excuse? You didn't even pass this little test, and you still want to compete for the position of the patriarch? The third elder's words were very sharp. The Lan family might already have a young master, but that was only for the grandchildren. The current patriarch of the Lan family had yet to decide which son would take over the position of the patriarch after he retired. Moreover, it was common knowledge that most of the elders wanted the eldest son of the patriarch, Lan Lai's father, Lan Tian, to take over the position of the patriarch. This way, young Master Lan Lai's position could be more stable. However, the patriarch had recently released word that all his sons were qualified to vie for the position of the patriarch. Therefore, these sons of the patriarch's concubines were all restless. Third elder, I admit that I didn't consider it carefully this time. However, denying my ability just because of this matter is very unfair to me, Lan Fei argued. He hated this third elder, who liked to find trouble with him everywhere, to death. Old thing, I'll get rid of you first when I become the patriarch. Do you think this matter is a small matter? Do you think if there are such functions like this in the future, we will dare to hand them to you? The third elder asked in disdain. By the way, the opening time of the medicinal herb exchange has passed, but the person you sent hasn't returned yet, the third elder added. The third elder's words left Lan Fei speechless. Third elder, what's the point of saying all this now that things have come to this? Let's think about how to remedy the situation. The second elder said, Remedy? I've participated in so many medicinal herb exchanges, and this is the first time I've encountered an exchange without a single alchemist participating. If news of this spreads, our Lan family will become everyone's laughingstock. Also, what do you want to do with the people watching outside? The third elder asked loudly while looking at the people sitting. Chapter 435. The Shameless First Elder of the Lan Family, 1. What can we do? Of course, get the people to disperse first. Let's just say that there's no opening ceremony for this year's exchange, the fifth elder suggested. They couldn't kill all the surrounding people, right? The Lan family was not so bloodthirsty. That's the only way. The third elder nodded. Lan Fei, go out and disperse the people, the second elder ordered. In the past, the medicinal herb exchange meetings usually had an extremely grand opening, so there were many people who liked to come and watch the commotion. They were also very happy to have so many people paying attention to this matter. But they obviously didn't want too many people to come this time. Yes, Lan Fei answered and went to disperse the surrounding people. After sending the onlookers away, Lan Fei returned to the venue to be reprimanded. The third elder rolled his eyes at Lan Fei and said coldly, Lan Fei, tell me your plan. They'll find out the reason first and then decide how to deal with the aftermath. Lan Fei said calmly because he knew that it was useless even if he was anxious now. Many people were waiting to see him make a fool of himself. The third elder nodded. In fact, Lan Fei was smart. Unfortunately, he didn't use it in the right place. Second master, back. Steward Wu's voice sounded in everyone's ears. Lan Fei grabbed Steward Wu's collar and asked anxiously, Steward Wu, have you investigated the cause? Why didn't any of those alchemists appear? Second master, I spent a lot of effort to understand the whole story, Steward Wu said hurriedly. Tell me quickly. Lan Fei urged with widened eyes. Let go of him first and let him talk slowly, the third elder reminded. Tell me quickly. Lan Fei released Steward Wu's collar and said anxiously. It's like this. I heard that people set up stalls outside our Blue Cloud city to exchange for herbs, so I went out of the city. I saw it and it was indeed the case. Steward Wu told everyone sitting here everything he had found out. Everyone present frowned when they heard it, and most of their faces were as colorful as a color palette. Damn it. Those alchemists actually dare to go against our Lan family. Who gave them the guts? Lan Fei roared furiously, the veins on his forehead bulging. Steward Wu, were those alchemists organized by someone? The second elder grasped the main point of the matter. Yes, a person named Lung Ruoxue, Steward Wu said respectfully. Lung Ruoxue? Who is she? The second elder was a little puzzled. Surname Lung? Could she be from the Lung family? But the Lung family has always had a good relationship with the Lan family. The Lung family shouldn't do such a thing. If she had a conflict with 5th Mississippi. 5th Miss forbade her from entering the city, so Lung Ruoxue held a medicinal herb exchange outside the city and directly stopped the alchemists who came to participate in our exchange, Steward Wu hurriedly explained while wiping the cold sweat off his forehead. He was full of admiration for Lung Ruoxue in his heart. She really had guts. She actually poached these people right at the corner of their Lan family. So it's because of the 5th young lady, the third elder said with a spurious smile. I wonder if Lung Ruoxue has an invitation? The third elder glanced at Steward Wu. Yes, young master gave her the invitation, Steward Wu said honestly, not daring to hide it. Alas, the invitation sent by our Lan family's young master is actually not as effective as the 5th young lattice words. It's really too unbelievable, the third elder said with slight mockery. The third elder's words made everyone present look at Lan Fei strangely. Third elder, this must be a misunderstanding. If Lung Ruoxue really has an invitation, how could Ninger not let her into the city? Lan Fei defended his daughter. Do you mean that Lung Ruoxue doesn't have an invitation from our Lan family at all? The third elder said without emotion with his eyelids raised slightly. Probably. Ninger has always done things with propriety. If Lung Ruoxue really has an invitation, how could Ninger not let her enter the city? Lan Fei said confidently. There's no need to guess. Let's go and verify it. Won't we know then? Said the first elder, who had been silent. Then he stood up and left the exchange meeting venue. Seeing the first elder leaving, everyone present hurriedly followed. Just like that, the group walked out of the city in a grandiose manner. Outside the city, everyone couldn't help being a little speechless when they saw the fiery exchange scene. Most of these people were guests invited by their Lan family. Now, they actually benefited others. This scene is more normal. The third elder was not angry but actually nodded with satisfaction after seeing the scene. Let's go take a look, the first elder said expressionlessly. Elders, this Lung Ruoxue is really too much. We absolutely can't let her go. Lan Fei was so angry that his lungs were about to explode. This was obviously the scene he wanted. But it had nothing to do with him at all. At this moment, Lung Ruoxue was chatting with the alchemists, but she suddenly realized that the alchemists were silent. Moreover, they kept winking at her unnaturally. Lung Ruoxue subconsciously turned around and found a group of people behind her. Moreover, a few of them were staring at her angrily as if they wanted to skin her alive. What's the matter? Lung Ruoxue asked lightly. In fact, she had already guessed the identities of these people when she glanced at Lan Ming's expression. However, she had to pretend to be stupid when she should be pretending. You are Lung Ruoxue? Lan Fei asked disdainfully with his head raised. Yes, I am Lung Ruoxue, Lung Ruoxue replied with a light smile. Do you know where this is? Lan Fei questioned fiercely, his cold eyes spitting out flames of anger. This is outside Blue Cloud City. What's the matter? Don't you know? Lung Ruoxue asked calmly. She didn't know who this middle-aged man was from the Lan family, but she wouldn't be afraid no matter who he was. Of course I know this is outside Blue Cloud City, Lan Fei said fiercely through gritted teeth. Chapter 436, The Shameless First Elder of the Lan Family, 2. Then why are you asking me? Lung Ruoxue questioned with some displeasure, looking at Lan Fei like he was an idiot. Swear, he's most likely illiterate, Freak said indifferently as he hugged Lung Ruoxue's slender waist. Yes, it's possible. Lung Ruoxue echoed. Damn it. Let me tell you. This is our Lan family's territory. Who allowed you to set up your stall here privately? Lan Fei roared furiously. This is really strange. Blue Cloud City is the territory of the Lan family. Why is it so outside the city too? Then why didn't your Lan family build the city wall here? Lung Ruoxue asked in puzzlement, her face full of question marks. Damn it. Lung Ruoxue, do you know who you are talking to? Lan Fei roared at the top of his lungs. I really don't know who I'm talking to. However, what I want to say is, why did the Lan family let you out? Is there no one else in the Lan family? Why did they let an idiotic old man come out to embarrass himself? Lung Ruoxue said mockingly with a light smile. Who are you calling an idiotic old man? Lan Fei was about to vomit blood when he heard someone calling him an idiotic old man. He was only in his 40s, okay? How did he look like an old man? Bad memory is a sign of aging. You're about to, Lung Ruoxue deliberately said half a sentence to anger the middle-aged man to death. Lan Fei stammered, his breathing a little uneven. He couldn't even manage a complete sentence for a long time. Plus, he is the second master of our Lan family and the second son of the patriarch. How can you be so rude? The third elder suddenly said. He directly revealed Lan Fei's identity and even blamed Lung Ruoxue for being rude. But his tone sounded as though he was gloating. I'm so sorry. I should have been more reserved. Why didn't anyone tell me earlier that he is the second master of the Lan family? Boo, your patriarch won't be angry with me, right? Lung Ruoxue asked pitifully and uncertainly. The patriarch will definitely not be angry with you, but our second master will definitely hate you. The third elder thought and then nodded with certainty. Oh, then I'm not afraid. I see that his glabella is dark. He is definitely having bad luck recently. If anything happens to him, he won't have a chance to hate me, Lung Ruoxue said with confidence. Lass, you know how to read fortunes? The third elder said with a face full of surprise. He was already laughing in his heart. Hee, this Lung Ruoxue is really infuriating. I like it. In fact, the third elder was a very straightforward and protective person to begin with. If he liked someone, then no matter what this person did, it would be good in his eyes. If he didn't like someone, then no matter how much this person did, he would not be able to gain his favor, just like Lan Fei. I don't. But there's no need to read the second master's fortune. He will definitely be unlucky recently, Lung Ruoxue said with certainty. At the same time, she muttered in her head, I have to create some unlucky things for the Lan family's second master, even if he isn't unlucky. Ha, I like you less. The third elder laughed heartily. The conversation between him and Lung Ruoxue actually made Lan Fei faint from anger. Lung Ruoxue looked at Lan Fei with infinite pity and said lightly, Alas! You really have a short life. Your ability to bear stimulation is really too poor. You have to train. The third elder stroked his beard and said seriously, Yes, that's reasonable. I'll suggest to the patriarch later and arrange special training for him. How can he compete for the position of the patriarch in such a state? The Lan family members standing beside the third elder were all at a loss for words. Third elder, are we here to denounce Lung Ruoxue or to chat with her? The first elder looked at the gloating third elder, and the corner of his mouth twitched. Then he cleared his throat and said solemnly, Lung Ruoxue, why are you setting up a stall outside? Do you know that your behavior has seriously affected the medicinal herb exchange meeting that our Lan family has held for many years? I was forced into it. I'm also a victim. Lung Ruoxue said aggrievedly, her expression as if she had been wronged. Who forced you? The first elder asked curiously even though he knew the answer. Lan Ning'e, the fifth young lady of the Lan family. Lung Ruoxue said fearfully. How did she bully you? The first elder continued to ask. That dog used her position to bully us and forbade us from entering Blue Cloud City. We had no choice but to set up a stall outside the city to exchange for herbs. Lung Ruoxue explained lightly. Oh, then why didn't she let you enter the city? 2 drops of cold sweat dripped down the first elder's forehead. This girl actually scolded Lan Ning'e as a dog in front of him. How gutsy! She thinks we're ugly, mainly because of jealousy, because her big brother Lung would rather go on the road with us ugly monsters than bother with her. Alas. In fact, the number 1 beauty is also quite pitiful. Who would dare to want a woman with a bad personality? Lung Wudi isn't a fool. Lung Ruoxue kept on recounting Lan Ning'e's crime, and her tone actually carried some sympathy at the end. Also, when we were camping in the wilderness, she used the excuse that she didn't have a tent to stay in the same one as young Master Lung. However, young Master Lung would rather stand guard throughout the night than enter the tent. After we arrived in the city, I reminded her to buy a tent, but she refused and even blamed me for being nosy. Alas! How wrong do you think I felt? I did it for her own good. It's fine if she doesn't care about her reputation, but if she implicates the young master of the Lung family and causes the Lung family to fall out with the Lan family, can she bear the responsibility? Moreover, young Master Lung can lend her his tent once for the sake of the Lan family, but would he lend it to her again and again? How brainless! Even if she wants to be the wife of the young master of the Lung family, she can't use such a trashy method. What would her actions cause for the Lan family's reputation? Don't you think so? Lung Ruoxue said earnestly, her tone so sincere that it was unbelievable. Is what you said true? The first elder asked while suppressing his anger. He really didn't expect Lan Ning'e to be so shameless. Chapter 437, The Shameless First Elder of the Lan Family, 3. I'm a good child and I never lie. If you don't believe me, you can ask your Lan family's young master. No, Lan Lai is no longer the young master. Lung Ruoxue said as if she had just realized it. Lass, who told you that Lan Lai isn't the young master? The first elder asked with slight displeasure, his forehead full of black lines. Lan Ning. Lung Ruoxue answered very innocently. How can you believe her words? Lan Lai is still the young master of our Lan family, the first elder said very seriously. She is the most favored fifth young lady of the Lan family. Even Lan Lai has to be wary of her. Of course her words are trustworthy, Lung Ruoxue said stubbornly. Lass, do you have an invitation for the medicinal herb exchange? The first elder wiped the cold sweat off his forehead and changed the topic. Of course we do. Our invitation was personally sent by your former young master. Unfortunately, it was denied by Lan Ning. Lung Ruoxue pretended to be regretful. Lass, I'll say it one last time. Our Lan family's young master hasn't changed. It's still Lan Lai, the first elder said with a slight headache. He realized that he really couldn't communicate with Lung Ruoxue. But Lung Ruoxue wanted to argue but was interrupted by Freak. Schwer, let's not argue with the Lan family anymore. If he said they didn't change him, then so be it. It's only a matter of time before he's changed anyway, Freak said understandingly. Yes, that's true. In fact, Lan Lai's position as the young master is quite low. Lan Ninger calls him names all day long and doesn't take him, the young master, seriously at all. Alas, as Lan Lai's friends, we can't bear to watch any longer. The Lan family is really too lawless. The children of the concubines are all riding on the heads of the main family. Lung Ruoxue and Freak discussed as if no one else was around. That's right. I'm also the child of a concubine. I don't even dare to speak loudly in front of those from the main family. Freak agreed very much. At the side, the first elder finally understood after listening for a long time. These two people were deliberately putting on an act together. But even though what they said was reasonable, the Lan family's face and foundation were all lost by them now. This couldn't do. The first elder's eyes kept darting around as he said indifferently, Lass, do you know that our Lan family has become a laughingstock because of your words? What does that have to do with me? It's your family's upbringing. Even if I don't speak, many people will discuss it in private. If you don't believe me, you can go to Blue Cloud City to ask around. See what the people say? Lung Ruoxue suggested kindly. Lass, let's discuss this later. Let's talk about the medicinal herb exchange first. Since you have our Lan family's invitation, how about I invite you into the city as the Lan family's first elder? The first elder said very cordially with a kind smile. In fact, how could he not know the opinions of the people in the city? It was just that the patriarch had his own thoughts, and it was inconvenient for him to say it without seriously harming the Lan family's interests. We've almost exchanged everything. There's no need to enter the city anymore, so thank you for your good intentions, Lung Ruoxue declined politely. How dare you refuse First Elder's good intentions? I think you don't want to live anymore. Lan Fei, who had just woken up, was furious after hearing Lung Ruoxue's refusal to enter the city. Don't tell me you pretended to faint? Why did you wake up so quickly? It's such a pity. How good would it be if you couldn't wake up for a long time? Lung Ruoxue said angrily. As soon as Lung Ruoxue finished speaking, bursts of low laughter emerged from the crowd. Even the Lan family members present couldn't help turning their heads, covering their mouths, and laughing secretly. Lung Ruoxue glanced at Lan Fei and the Lan family members behind him. Looks like the second master of the Lan family isn't popular in the Lan family. This will be much easier. Ahem, bless. You're really too unkind. How can you say what's on your mind? The third elder pretended to reprimand her. What he implied was that she could say it in her heart. I always say whatever comes to my head. Lung Ruoxue said cooperatively while looking at the third elder aggrievedly. Lan Fei, I'm talking to this lass. Why are you interrupting? The first elder said with some displeasure. First elder. Lan Fei wanted to argue, but the first elder didn't give him the chance at all. What about me? Can't you see that I'm cleaning up your mess? It's fine if you don't reflect on yourself, but you actually caused more trouble. The first elder reprimanded, his face full of dissatisfaction with him. First elder. Lan Fei was depressed. He was the second master of the Lan family after all. The first elder actually lectured him in public. He really didn't give him face. He was so angry. However, he didn't dare to talk back in front of the first elder at all, so he could only bear with it. Lan Fei, I order you to return to the Lan family estate immediately to reflect. You are not allowed to leave your room by even half a step without my permission, the first elder said resolutely. The first elder turned and ordered the guards beside him, send the second master back. Yes, first elder, the guards replied and then half-forced Lan Fei back to the Lan family estate. Lass, now that the eyesore has left, can we have a good talk? The first elder said warmly, as if he was the big bad wolf coaxing Little Red Riding Hood. But I really don't need to enter the city anymore, Leng Ruoxue said honestly. She was planning to leave. Lass, you've messed up our Lan family's medicinal herb exchange. You have to compensate us. The first elder glared at Leng Ruoxue and pretended to be pitiful. You're mistaken. I didn't ruin your exchange. It was Lan Ninga, so you can't blame me for this. Leng Ruoxue didn't want to take the blame for others. So you want to be irresponsible, the first elder said pitifully as if he was about to cry. I don't have any responsibilities. Okay, we're leaving now, Leng Ruoxue said bluntly. The Lan family is really too strange. I should stay away from them. The moment Freak and the others, as well as the alchemists present, heard Leng Ruoxue say that she was leaving, they immediately packed up and prepared to leave, lest the Lan family vented their anger on them. Moreover, they had almost exchanged the herbs they wanted to exchange for, so staying would be a waste of time. Chapter 438, The Shameless First Elder of the Lan Family 4, Swear, everything is packed. Freak returned to Leng Ruoxue's side. Okay, let's leave then. Don't affect the Lan family's medicinal herb exchange, Leng Ruoxue said very kindly. Ah. The first elder was a little dumbfounded. What was going on? Did he say he wanted them to leave? He just wanted them to enter the city. Boo. This girl is really too evil. He was now very sure that Leng Ruoxue definitely did it on purpose. First elder, you don't have to be troubled. We're leaving. Leng Ruoxue waved at the first elder. Then she gave Freak and the others a look and planned to leave. All of you stop right there. No one is allowed to leave. If you want to leave, step over my dead body. With that, the first elder sat on the ground and began acting shamelessly. Leng Ruoxue and the others who were about to leave, as well as the alchemists, were all stunned, not knowing what to do. The Lan family collectively turned their heads, not daring to look at the first elder. However, they thought in unison, First elder, you are really unscrupulous in order to achieve your goal. Alas, your sacrifice for the Lan family is really too great. At this moment, they respected the first elder even more. First elder, you want us to step over you. Are you preparing to commit suicide? Or do you want us to kill you? Leng Ruoxue asked curiously with several black lines hanging on her forehead. I find it painful to commit suicide. Kill me if you want to leave. The first elder steeled his heart and went all out. Anyway, the Lan family had already lost all its face. There wouldn't be much difference even if his was gone. Then what if the Lan family finds trouble with us after we kill you? Leng Ruoxue asked in distress. Alas, is this old man really the first elder of the Lan family who is virtuous and respected? Why is he so shameless? No wonder the Lan family had so many pieces of work. Hee, then you can all stay. Then we will all be happy, the first elder said with a smile. But we've exchanged all our herbs, and there's really nothing else to exchange for, Leng Ruoxue said in a dilemma. It's okay. You just have to put on a show. Otherwise, our Lan family will lose all our face, the first elder pleaded. Boo! Take pity on me. First elder, time is money. Money? How much do you want? The first elder asked quickly. Money was not a problem as long as they were willing to stay. Ah! Leng Ruoxue was stunned. Did the first elder of the Lan family want to give them money? In fact, what she wanted to say just now was that they didn't have that much time. Lass, as long as you're willing to stay until the exchange ends, our Lan family will pay you. How about it? The first elder said anxiously with widened eyes. How much? Lung Ruoxue asked lightly. They won't cause trouble for me and yet will pay us. Is there such a good thing? She couldn't help feeling a little skeptical. How about 500,000 purple gold coins a day for half a month? The first elder asked expectantly. What do you think? Lung Ruoxue turned to ask the alchemists not far away. Is what first elder said true? One of the alchemists asked doubtfully. Would there be such a good thing? In the past, they had to pay the Lan family money when they came to the exchange meeting. They didn't expect the tables to turn today. Moreover, the Lan family was quite open-minded, and the treatment was quite good. Of course it's true. I guarantee it with the reputation of the Lan family's first elder. The first elder said very seriously and sincerely. I think we can consider it, another alchemist said after hearing the first elder's promise, but his face was obviously still a little worried. There's no need to consider. Such conditions are unprecedented and will never happen again. There won't be such an opportunity in the future, the first elder urged. What if the second master of the Lan family finds trouble with us after we enter Blue Cloud City? Lung Ruoxue asked. Yes. Blue Cloud City is the Lan family's territory. Will the Lan family cause trouble for us if we enter? The alchemists asked worriedly. He wouldn't dare. Wasn't he already grounded by me? The first elder said with certainty. Everyone, I am the third elder of the Lan family. I can also guarantee that you won't be harassed by certain people from the Lan family, the third elder promised. If someone harasses us, can we deal with that person as we please? No matter who they are? Lung Ruoxue asked lightly. The other Lan family members might take the words of these two elders seriously, but not necessarily Lan Ning. Yes, our Lan family will never shield them, the first elder and third elder promised in unison. Everyone, since the Lan family is so sincere, let's give these two elders of the Lan family some face. Lung Ruoxue said very understandingly. Well, listen to Miss Lung, the alchemists replied. They were almost following Lung Ruoxue's lead now. In that case, I've decided on your behalf. Let's enter Blue Cloud City to participate in the medicinal herb exchange. However, first elder, you have to pay us in advance, Lung Ruoxue said in a seemingly fair manner. No problem. You enter the city first. You'll get someone to send the remuneration to you later, the first elder said readily. His mission would be completed as long as they were willing to stay. First elder, you can get up now. Lung Ruoxue looked at the first elder still sitting on the ground and reminded him. Alas, the first elder of a super family actually sat on the ground and acted shamelessly in order to achieve his goal. What would happen if news of this got out? Lass, if you agreed earlier, would I need to use this move? The first elder said nonchalantly. Aren't you afraid of losing face? Lung Ruoxue was really curious. How can this old man be so thick-skinned? What I care about is the result. It's good as long as I can achieve my goal, the first elder said stubbornly, his heart racing. Wasn't this forced by you, lass? He hadn't used this move for dozens of years. The last time he had used it was for Lan Tian. First grandpa. At this moment, Lan Lai, who had been hiding, walked out of the crowd. His eyes were slightly red as he spoke in a choked voice. Chapter 439, The Shameless First Elder of the Lan Family, 5. Damn brat, you're finally willing to come out? Is first grandpa's joke so enjoyable to watch? The first elder gently patted Lan Lai's head and pretended to be angry. This brat had returned to the Lan family for a few days, but he didn't even say that he was going to see him. He only knew to run out of the city every day. He was really infuriating. When did I laugh at first grandpa? Lan Lai said aggrievedly, seemingly about to cry. Alas! What a heartless stinky brat. Has third grandpa become heir? The third elder pretended to wipe his tears and sighed. The thick smell of envy seeped out of his body. Third grandpa, I didn't have enough time to greet you yet. Lan Lai said helplessly, cold sweat flowing down his back. Alas. It was a tough call, and the two old men were envious. He really didn't know what to do. Well, he should consult Lung Ruoxue when he had time. Umph. The third elder snorted unhappily, but his eyes revealed deep affection. Ruoxue, let's enter the city. Lan Lai laughed dryly and said awkwardly. Okay. Lung Ruoxue nodded. Even though there were some people in the Lan family who were a little annoying, she was still very satisfied with the Lan family's attitude. At least, these two elders of the Lan family didn't come to denounce them. This was already very rare for a superfamily. Otherwise, she wouldn't have agreed to enter the city on account of these two elders. As for the old man who had been staring at her from the Lan family crowd, she automatically ignored him. Someone who didn't even dare to speak in front of the first elder and the third elder was probably not an influential person. Lung Ruoxue and the others were escorted into Blue Cloud City like heroes. Lass, this inn is the best in our Blue Cloud City. Stay here. The first elder brought Lung Ruoxue and the others directly to the inn called home and pointed at it. At the same time, the manager of the inn immediately welcomed the first elder and the others when he saw them. Plus, let's go to another place. You're so ugly and am a beggar. It's really not suitable for us to stay here, the little old man said. After interacting with them for the past few days, he was already very familiar with Lung Ruoxue and the others. He had also accepted Jing En as his disciple. Moreover, he had changed to addressing Lung Ruoxue as lass rather than little friend. Makes sense. Lung Ruoxue nodded in agreement. This is? The first elder was a little dumbfounded. Did something go wrong again? Moreover, this little old man is so familiar. I'm just a beggar. A nameless pawn isn't worth mentioning. The little old man raised his head arrogantly and coldly. He was an extremely protective person to begin with, and he initially had some contact with them only because he made a bet with Lung Ruoxue. After that, he took Jing En as his disciple. In just a few days, he was very satisfied with Jing En as his disciple and also began to love Lung Ruoxue and the others. This time, the first elder was finally sure that this little old man was really emotional. Did anyone from the Lan family offend him? Moreover, even though he didn't know this little old man's identity, he didn't dare to underestimate this little old man at all because the aura on this little old man was really too strong. He is my subordinate's master, Lung Ruoxue introduced while suppressing her smile. She found that she liked this protective old man more and more now. Oh, may I know your good name, senior? The first elder asked curiously. What senior? I'm just an old man from the countryside. The little old man obviously didn't want to bother with this Lan family's first elder. The first elder was a little embarrassed. It seemed like this senior had a deep grudge against their Lan family. With this in mind, he couldn't help turning to Lung Ruoxue for help. Let's stay here. After all, it's a token of the first elder's goodwill. However, first elder, please restrain that fifth dog. It will be very troublesome if we're bitten by a dog, Lung Ruoxue reminded. Don't worry. We will restrain her properly, the first elder promised. In that case, let's stay here for the time being. The little old man nodded and agreed. Manager, they are all esteemed guests of our Lan family. You have to take care of them. Otherwise, you will be the one to answer. The first elder warned. Yes, I understand, the inn manager replied fearfully. He had heard the conversation between these people and the first elder clearly. Alas, these people almost didn't even give the first elder face. How could he dare to slight them? After settling the residence of Lung Ruoxue and the others, the first elder and the Lan family members immediately rushed back to the Lan family estate. At the same time, Lan Fei and Lan Ninger were adding oil to the fire and complaining to the patriarch of the Lan family. In the main hall of the Lan family estate, the patriarch of the Lan family was sitting in the main seat. On each side of him were the family's elders. But the first few seats on the two sides were empty because the masters of these seats were all participating in the opening of the medicinal herb exchange meeting and had yet to return. Just as Lan Fei and Lan Ninger were talking until their mouths were dry and their saliva flew everywhere, a guard came to report that the elders had returned. The first elder and the other members of the Lan family walked into the hall of the main residence and sat down at their respective seats. The first elder looked up at the patriarch sitting in the main seat and said lightly, "Has the elder conference been brought forward? Why didn't anyone inform me?" "First elder, we aren't having a conference," an elder sitting answered and gave the first elder a look. "Oh. Why is everyone here then? Also, didn't I lock the second master up? Who let him out?" The first elder said with obvious displeasure. "The second master escaped by himself," another elder said. "Seems like we have to place a few guards at the second master's door from tomorrow onward. The people locked up can actually enter and leave as they please. How will others look at our Lan family this way?" The first elder nodded cautiously. "Father, did you hear that? The first elder actually wants to lock me up." Lan Fei immediately shouted when he heard this. He looked at his father expectantly, hoping that he could uphold justice for him. Chapter 440, Old Friends, 1. However, the patriarch of the Lan family had closed his eyes at some point and was sitting motionlessly as if he had fallen asleep. His reaction was really intriguing. The first elder raised his eyelids slightly and said indifferently, "Second master, don't you see that the patriarch is sleeping?" Lan Fei was at a loss for words. He had a bad premonition since hearing that the first elder was back. "Second master, you left your room without permission. Is there anything important?" The first elder asked coldly, his tone so calm, it was as if he was asking if others had eaten. "I'm here to report to father," Lan Fei stammered. He was actually very nervous, and Lan Ninger was also afraid in front of the first elder. "You have already been locked up. Do you have any work you need to report? Why didn't I know that you're so dedicated?" The first elder said mockingly. "Hee, first elder, the second master and the fifth young lady are here to complain about you," an elder said gloatingly. As soon as the elder finished speaking, Lan Fei and Lan Ninger's hearts skipped a beat. They knew that it was impossible to hide the matter of tattling about the first elder, but they didn't expect to be exposed in front of him. "I see. Then tell me what our second master said about me," the first elder asked calmly, his expression unreadable. "The second master said that you covered up for the people who opposed the Lan family, ruined the Lan family's reputation, ignored the authority of the patriarch, and humiliated him, a son of the patriarch. As for the fifth young lady, she said that you never take her seriously, find trouble with her everywhere, and even associate with Leng Ruoxue and the others. By the way, our fifth young lady greatly looks down on those alchemists and thinks that their status is too low and that they aren't worthy of the Lan family's preferential treatment." A certain elder relayed Lan Fei and Lan Ninger's words to the first elder word for word. Hearing this, the first elder only frowned slightly and then said, "It seems that I really have committed a heinous crime in the hearts of the second master and his daughter. However, I have something to report to the second master. The trouble that the fifth young lady caused has caused huge losses to our Lan family. Therefore, I have already promised to pay the alchemists who planned on leaving 500,000 purple gold coins per person per day if they participate in the medicinal herb exchange in order to appease them." "What? Our Lan family won't pay this. They can participate or not as they want. How dare they go against our Lan family? They really don't want to live anymore." Lan Fei roared furiously. "Second master, are you sure it's okay if they don't participate?" the first elder asked coldly with narrowed eyes. Lan Fei stammered again. "First elder, if no alchemist participates in the medicinal herb exchange, it will be very disadvantageous to our Lan family. However, I want to know who will pay the 500,000 per person per day?" another elder asked. "The mess was caused by the second master and his daughter, so of course, this money has to be paid by them," the first elder said with a smile. "Why?" Lan Fei and Lan Ninger were furious when they heard this. How could they have so much money? One person was 500,000 a day, and there were at least 100 people. The first elder glanced at Lan Fei and his daughter lightly and said with displeasure, "Because I'm cleaning up after you so that those alchemists will stay. Otherwise, our Lan family's medicinal herb exchange won't continue. Those alchemists are not important figures. So what if they don't participate?" Lan Ninger said in objection. In her heart, the alchemist representatives of the various alchemist association branches were not very important. After all, the highest level among those people was only Master Alchemist. She looked down on those people since the higher-level alchemists were all gathered in the Alchemist Association headquarters. However, it was impossible for alchemists with higher status to arrive so early, so those who arrived early were unimportant alchemists. At least, this was what she thought. Hee, I wonder what kind of alchemist is considered important in Fifth Miss eyes? The first elder was really curious. What was the fifth young lattice brain made of? Why was it different from what others thought? The lowest-level alchemists who could receive the Lan family's invitation to participate in the exchange were master alchemists who were very promising, and their future prospects were limitless. But their fifth young lady actually looked down on these people. Of course, they have to be like my future master, as well as those alchemists who are Grandmaster Alchemists and above in the Alchemy Association headquarters. They should be the big shots we value, Lan Ninger said with a face full of pride, her absolutely beautiful face full of cockiness. Fifth Miss, do you think that just a few Grandmaster Alchemists can support our Lan family's medicinal herb exchange? The first elder asked in return. Of course, our Lan family's medicinal herb exchange will become even more famous with their help. Moreover, His Excellency Du Min is also coming to participate in this medicinal herb exchange, so it really doesn't matter whether those insignificant alchemists participate or not, Lan Ninger said confidently. After I become Du Min's disciple, I have to trample all these people under my feet. They are always at odds with me. Fifth Miss, can you tell me how many Grandmaster Alchemists there are in the Alchemy Association headquarters? Will these people come? Even if they come, can you get them to exchange herbs with each other? The first elder rolled his eyes at Lan Ninger and thought, what a brainless fool. If there were only a dozen people at the medicinal herb exchange meeting, then what was the point of this alchemy gathering, which was known as the largest alchemist gathering on the boundless continent? So what if there are fewer alchemists attending this exchange? His Excellency Du Min will come anyway. He's more important than any alchemist. When I become His Excellency Du Min's disciple, and our Lan family is related to him, won't those alchemists take the initiative to curry favor with us? Lan Ninger said nonchalantly. Fifth Miss, are you so sure that His Excellency Du Min will accept you as his disciple? The first elder asked in disbelief. He really didn't know where Lan Ninger's confidence came from. His Excellency Du Min didn't seem to have explicitly said that he would accept her as his disciple, right? Chapter 441, Old Friends, 2. Of course. I am an alchemy genius rarely seen in 100 years on the boundless heaven continent. If he doesn't take me as his disciple, it will absolutely be His Excellency Du Min's loss, Lan Ninger said confidently, her proud tail about to rise to the sky. The first elder really didn't know what to say about Lan Ninger's strong confidence. His Excellency Du Min obviously only said that he would consider it, but she thought that this was a matter set in stone. Moreover, she announced it wantonly and made everyone know. If His Excellency Du Min doesn't take her in as a disciple in the end, let's see how she ends up. Fifth Miss, His Excellency Du Min is one of the most virtuous and respected people on the boundless heaven continent. Why don't I feel that it would be His Excellency Du Min's loss if he doesn't take you in as a disciple? The third elder said indifferently, his shrewd eyes carrying a hint of faint mockery. If not for taking the patriarch's face into consideration, these words would probably be even nastier. I'm an alchemy genius, and I'm already an alchemist before I'm 20, Lan Ninger emphasized. This was the thing she was most proud of. It's not like alchemy geniuses like you are unheard of on the boundless heaven continent. If His Excellency Du Min takes in every person, wouldn't most of these alchemists become his disciples? The third elder said with a light smile. How can those people compare to me? I'm the most favored fifth young lady of the Lan family. Lan Ninger couldn't help shouting angrily. Do you think His Excellency Du Min will take you in as his disciple because of your identity? The third elder asked with some amusement. Then, Lan Ninger was about to refute when she was interrupted by a dignified voice. All right, stop arguing. Do everything according to what the first elder says. Lan Tao, the patriarch of the Lan family, said with his eyes closed. After speaking, he stood up from the main seat and left the hall. Guards, bring the second master and the fifth young lady back to their rooms. None of them are allowed to step out of the room without my orders. In addition, from today onward, deduct the monthly money of the second master and the fifth young lady to pay those alchemists until the second master and fifth young lady repay all the purple gold coins they owe the Lan family. The first elder ordered. You can't do that. I'm the most favored fifth young lady of the Lan family. Grandpa won't allow you to do this. Lan Ninger roared hysterically after hearing what the first elder said. Fifth miss, didn't you hear what the patriarch said just now? The first elder asked with a frown. Hurry up and bring them down. The first elder didn't want to give Lan Ninger any chance to speak at all and urged directly. Yes. The guard brought Lan Fei and his daughter back to their rooms after receiving the order. First elder, second elder, do you have anything to say? The first elder asked softly while glancing at the second elder. No. The second elder was about to plead on behalf of Lan Fei and his daughter, but he didn't dare to say anything after the first elder glanced at him lightly. No one could shake the first elder's authority among the elders. Since no one has any objections, then we can all leave. The first elder chased them away. First elder, you have to pay those alchemists as soon as possible, the third elder reminded before leaving the hall. The first elder nodded. Yes, they'll send someone to deliver it to them later. Use the money from the public fund first, and then the second master and his daughter will slowly return it. Hearing this, the other elders couldn't help but mourn for Lan Fei and his daughter for a few minutes. Alas, how pitiful! The father's and daughter's pocket money was actually all gone because of this matter. After the elders left the hall, the first elder went directly to the patriarch's study. He knocked on the door and then walked in. You're here, Lan Tao said indifferently from his chair. The first elder sat down opposite the patriarch and replied with barely a word, yes. Is he okay? Lan Tao asked nonchalantly, seemingly not caring too much. Extremely well, the first elder answered. Damn it. Can't you say a few more words? Lan Tao said furiously, almost exploding with anger in his heart. Don't you know everything? Do you need me to tell you? The first elder said irritably. He obviously missed his grandson, but he still kept finding trouble with his grandson. Their way of getting along was really strange. I want you to say it. How is he? Lan Tao bellowed somewhat childishly. I won't tell you. The first elder's stubborn temper also rose. Lan Hong, I'm your elder brother. Do you want to anger me to death? Lan Tao roared with some jealousy. At this moment, he looked like a child who couldn't obtain candy. He didn't have the slightest demeanor as the patriarch of the Lan family. So what? First elder Lan Hong said nonchalantly, not even bothering to look up. Anyway, he knew that Lan Tao wouldn't do anything other than shouting at him. Stay away from my grandson. Lan Tao shouted with jealousy. That was his precious grandson. But that stinky brat would cry endlessly as long as he hugged him since he was young. Moreover, he never gave him, his grandfather, a good attitude, but he would always smile nonstop at others. Alas, as long as he thought of this, jealousy kept flowing out of his heart. He's also my grandson. If it weren't for me back then, would you have this grandson? The first elder said without backing down. Lan Tao was a little angry. He knew that he was a little stubborn back then, but didn't he compromise in the end? Why were these people still so vengeful? Especially that stinky brat. Boo! Big brother, you can't be jealous of familial love. First Elder Lan Hong added oil to the fire. Boo! Return my grandson to me. Mother, your son is being bullied. Lan Tao had no choice but to use soft tactics when he saw that hard tactics weren't working. Big brother, our mother has passed away for many years, the first elder reminded, his forehead full of black lines. Alas! He was really at his wits' end with his brother's shamelessness. However, if Lung Ruoxue saw this scene, she would definitely say that the Lan family's shamelessness was hereditary. Chapter 442, Old Friends, 3. So what? Lan Tao roared in objection with tears in his eyes. Big brother, it's useless even if you're jealous of me. That stinky brat doesn't even like to return home now. Lan Hong spread his hands and shrugged helplessly. Are Lung Ruoxue and the others that attractive? Lan Tao asked with some jealousy. My good grandson. Oh? He was hanging out with others all day now, and he was even calling a dog brother. Since he liked dogs so much, he would get someone to find a few good ones for him in case that stinky brat couldn't even find his house. Probably. That little girl is very interesting. Moreover, she isn't afraid of our Lan family at all. I can see that Liar is very happy with them. Oh right, Minger is also with them. The first elder said. In fact, the patriarch knew about these things long ago. Even Lung Ruoxue and the others' every move was within the patriarch's control. However, the patriarch didn't take any action. Moreover, he got people to hide all of this. Otherwise, Lan Fei wouldn't have been so passive. Is that so? Seems like I have to meet that little girl when I have time, Lan Tao said after some thought. Then you have to be mentally prepared. That little girl isn't easy to deal with. She's very sharp-tongued. Lan Hong reminded. Then I have to take a look and see the dog that stole my grandson away, Lan Tao decided. After Lan Hong heard what the patriarch said, the corner of his mouth twitched. That dog is your true goal, isn't it? At this moment, Icy, who was asleep in the inn, had no idea that he was being marked by a certain jealous old man. In the inn, Lung Ruoxue and the others were gathered in the room discussing something. Icy was sleeping on the bed, while Lan Lai was half lying on the bed, watching him sleep and touching Icy's fur from time to time. Lying on the bed with his eyes closed, Icy shook his little ears in displeasure and shouted, "Go away! Don't disturb my sleep." Little Icy, you've been sleeping for almost a day. Why are you still sleeping? Don't sleep anymore. Get up and play with me. Let's go play frisbee, Lan Lai said excitedly. If he remembered correctly, Dog's favorite sport was to fetch frisbees, hee. Fuck frisbee. Icy was furious when he heard the word frisbee. Damn it. I'm not a dog. Why would I fetch frisbees? You don't like frisbee? Then shall we play yarn ball? Lan Lai asked a little out of line. He felt that all cats and canine animals should like this sport. However, little Icy was really too lazy. Fuck your yarn ball. Icy was even angrier. I'm not a cat. Why would I play with a ball of fur? I want to bite someone. Ha! Lung Ruoxue, not far away, couldn't help laughing after hearing their conversation. Unable to stand it anymore, Icy jumped directly into Lung Ruoxue's arms. Little Snowy, quickly chase this fool away. I'm about to die from anger. Boo-hoo! Little Icy, I like you so much. How can you despise me? Lan Lai complained, his eyes brimming with tears of grievance. Why doesn't little Icy allow me to hug him? I want to hug him too. I don't like you. Stop pestering me. Icy said impatiently as 2 drops of cold sweat dripped down his forehead. Ooh? He was a male, so he really couldn't accept other males being so intimate with him other than his master. Ha! Stop bickering. Lan Lai, it's getting late. Shouldn't you go home? Lung Ruoxue said very implicitly. To put it bluntly, she was chasing him away. Little Snowy, you despise me too, Lan Lai said pitifully. Of course. Do you think she likes you? Freak said coldly. Lan Lai's words pissed him off. Schwer has never liked you, okay? Hurry up and scram. We want to rest, Freak added. It's getting late. Let's go back. Lung Wudi came out to smooth things over. Alright. I'll see you tomorrow, little Icy. Lan Lai said reluctantly and left with Lung Wudi and Sun Teng. After Lan Lai's group left, Lung Ruoxue looked at Lung Qingtian and the others and said, Grandpa, let's take turns to go to the exchange during this half a month. Okay. Lung Qingtian and the others agreed. Everyone, have a good rest. I'll go with Freak tomorrow, Lung Ruoxue said. She had already divided everyone into 5 groups, with 2 people in each group taking turns to watch the stall. Everyone nodded and returned to their rooms. The next morning, Lung Ruoxue and Freak arrived at the exchange meeting venue. Although there were many alchemists present, everyone was chatting in groups of 3 to 5. There were not many alchemists who really exchanged, mainly because they basically exchanged almost all their medicinal herbs. 10 days later, it was Lung Ruoxue and Freak's turn to watch the stall again. In the venue, Lung Ruoxue was leaning in Freak's arms and glancing around the venue casually. She said lightly, Freak, there seem to be more new faces today. Yes, they are probably from the Alchemist Association headquarters. I heard that they are the last to arrive at each exchange, Freak replied. The alchemists of the Alchemist Association headquarters were of higher levels and status, so they naturally wouldn't come to the exchange meeting early like the other alchemists. Therefore they were always late. But even if they came late, they were still the biggest winners of the exchange in the past. However, it was difficult to say this time. While they were chatting softly, a tall, handsome middle-aged man in his 50s walked toward their stall. The middle-aged man squatted down and said critically, Are these the herbs you want to exchange? They seem quite ordinary. Yes, we are poor. Lung Ruoxue replied lightly. In fact, she had basically exchanged all her herbs, so the stall only had some ordinary ones now. Moreover, it was not only her. Most of the alchemists were the same. They were only here to make up the numbers. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.